Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome to my, today J Trades TV, where we discuss all stock-related contents and much more. Shout out to my YouTube family. Shout out to my Tradecaster family. Code, I already see you in the building. Marty, I already see you in the building. Let me go ahead and give my little quick shout outs to my new followers. Let me give a shout out to a grab a leaf. Shout out to you, boss, for the follow. Thank you so much for that. Marty, I see you coming through. Thank you so much, boss, for the support and the push for that. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and jump into the earnings, which you already know we're not going to really have anything major at this moment. Again, just more retail companies and whatnot. We will be anticipating for the major blue chip earnings coming out. That's going to be between April and May. So until then, I'm not going to really be looking too much towards the earnings, but more of the economic data. And you already know next week we're going to have the FOMC meeting coming out. That'll be Wednesday, March 20th. So definitely keep that on watch. Let me go ahead. Let me see. As far as our earnings, as far as the economic data, what do we have? Not too much of nothing. Not gonna have anything major as far as the economic data. We're gonna have. Let me pull mine up on my side real quick. Yeah, so we're gonna have pretty much at 8:30 the Empire State Manufacturing Index, import and export prices. That's gonna be at 8:30. 9:15 we're gonna have the industrial production. And 10 o'clock, we're going to have the consumer sentiments. And Baker Hughes, we're going to have that at 1. So nothing really major as of now. But the main thing that's going to be major as of now will be, let me bring that up, is we're going to have, if you look closely at it, look at the chain. Look at the options chain summary. Today, we have 4 million puts out of the money expiring today versus 859,000 in the money calls. So we're going to have a lot of weight as far as on the put side versus on the call side. So definitely be anticipating that. And we're going to be jumping right into the charts real quick. I think I got everything said. Yeah. So let's go ahead and jump right into the charts because I do see some moves happening. We do see some downside at this moment coming down to that 512. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts real quick, team. Let's go. Yeah, so as you can see right now, we are on this downtrend formation right here because as I was telling y'all about the rotation of that 514, you'll have a rotation from the 514. We could possibly see a bounce from 512 back on up to 514. So 514 is pretty much a pivot point. If you're underneath 514, that's basically working in the bear's favor, the puts favor because you're moving on down because 514 is considered a resistance market at this moment for a push down to 512 and even lower. If we do rotate and go back up to 514 and hold above 514, that's going to work in the bull's favor because it's holding up as support for a push back on up to that 516 level. But we are coming down to that 512 mark right here. We are cracking this trend line. I want to say we do get a bounce around this 512. I'm going to definitely keep my eyes peeled on that, but we are getting some downside. We are on this downtrend still. Everything is still looking weak at this moment. You can see that those puts, definitely with those put contracts, definitely trying to step in right now. We are definitely getting this pullback at this moment. We are definitely getting some downside towards this 512 level, so we're going to definitely keep that on watch. We have about 9 minutes until the bell rings. What you said, Marty? Said traders watch your spreads on contracts today if you are using same day. Yeah, exactly, boss. Yeah. So I definitely want to keep my eyes peeled on this 512 level to see if they'll try to move in. Will we crack that 512 and on down to 510? So right now we are seeing some weakness. We are on a downtrend at this moment. We are downtrending here. We're on a possible descending squeeze. Let me bring it down just a little bit more lower to the matter of fact. Let me stretch it down to 510. 510ish. Yeah. So as you can see, yeah, right now we are underneath 514 and we are testing this 512. We have pulled back down. So as the bell ring, I do want to see if we get a continuation pull back on down towards this 510, or will the buyers reclaim 512 and start to move it back up to the 514 level? Because as you notice, as I told y'all, 514 is a rotation pivot point. So you already know every time you leave from 514, you return back from 514. You leave from 514, you come back to 514. So as we're going down this way, we could see a continuation on down, but if those buyers do move in and reclaim this 512 level, we could see a rotation right back up to that 514 level. So I'm definitely going to keep that on watch to see on what takes place. But it does look like we're going to get some more downside because we are on this downtrend setup As you can see right here, rejection, rejection. So we are getting the downtrend pulled on down. You can see that. We are seeing some further weakness right now. We are seeing weakness, and you can see it right here on this 3-minute time frame. We are getting a nice drop on down from that five, around that 1450 all the way on down. You can see we are still getting pulled right now. We are at around 1160. So those puts are stepping in. So I mean, it's not to say that we can't have a reversal. I mean, that's the truth. Because, I mean, you might have a lot of contracts. And then you got to think about it, too. Because you remember what I told y'all before. We have AM. We have, as far as contracts, we have AM contracts and we have PM contracts. Because you have to remember, you'll have some contracts expiring. If you have an AM contract, it's going to expire right before the market opens. That's at 9:30. That's going to be those contracts basically expiring and getting out of the way. And then after that, you'll have your PM contracts, which expires after the market close. So we are getting a nice little pullback. So I'm keeping it on watch, We are getting this nice little pullback, and that's probably those AM contracts right now at the moment too. So we are getting this nice little pullback, but I do want to see if those buyers are going to try to reclaim this 512 level, hold this, and start to rotate right back up to this pivot point of 514. So right now, I'm just keeping it on watch. We are still pulling back at this moment. So we do crack, and we continuously crack this 512. We have room to fall to 510. So as this is pulling back, let's look at this other chart. We have 6 minutes left. Yes, spreads. Yes, that's why I'm not jumping in on anything. Soccer. Oh, I forgot to. I've got to turn on my thing, my notification. I mean, my thing. Let me go back to my. Shout out to you, Soccer King. Shout out to you, Maggie. Yeah, I forgot to turn on my thing. Some drops like. Yeah, we are getting. Let me see. Getting it right there. Oh, that's Marty saying drop some likes. I'm sorry. But yeah, shout out to all of y'all, man, for joining me. But yeah, we are getting a nice little pullback. And again, if we continuously keep cracking this 512, we have room to fall back down. Shout out to you, J24. Yeah, so we do have room to fall back down to this 510 level. So I'm definitely going to keep this on watch right here because we are underneath that trend line. Do you have room to fall all the way down to this green line? We do. We have room to fall back down to that green line, and that green line is almost around this 510 level. So can we get a further pull back down to here? Possibly. We could definitely do that. Can we retract and go back on top of this trend line here? That's another possibility. But we are pulling back down towards that green line. As you can see, we are coming down 510. And you have that main support line, which you already know. Every time you hit that green support line, you have more of a powerful impact. So if we go back, let me take you to this chart here. Let me go back real quick. So as you can see, we do have room to fall to, go back. So you have room to fall back down to this green line, to this green support line. That's going to be around that 508 area that we did talk about, Marty. So if we do continue to fall, and you already know how strong that support line is. So because you already know, once you hit that green support line, you have a powerful move back on up. So if we do fall, look at this. See the power of it? And the minute you touch that green line, that green support line, look at that power. You have the power to move right back on up. So we do get it. You can see right here too. Touch that green line, powerful move right back on up. Here, touch that green line, powerful move back on up. So, I wouldn't mind it if we do come back on down, because at least I know this area is a good support area for a nice move back on up. So, of course, yeah, we have cracked that trend line at this moment. We are coming down. We are coming down towards this 510-ish range, all the way down to this support line around this 508. So I can see that. I can see a nice move on down. And you have to think about it too. More than all of y'all in Coldplay, they could be doing that too, trying to pull it down as low as it can, getting it to the lowest area as possible, because you got to remember what's coming out next week. We have the FOMC meeting coming out. So if they can pull it down as low as they can, get into this low area around this trend line, and once that FOMC meeting comes out, look what can happen. Boom. See that? That nice, powerful move back on up. So they could be setting up for that, for the FOMC meeting. So they could be dropping it as low as they can, to low areas. And once that FOMC meeting comes out, we can have a nice push back on up. So, yeah, I definitely think we're going to see some more downside still coming on down, because I think that's what they're trying to do as far as the, I've got to move my thing back. Yeah, but,
Stream Elements says, enjoying the content.
Shut up. I don't need you. Let me go ahead and block. But yeah. But yeah, I mean that's I could see that happen. I could see a nice pullback. So I think today we may get a pullback today, team. I ain't gonna lie to you. Instead of getting a nice bounce back on up, we could be getting a further fade on down to as low as possible. Due to the fact is we're gonna have the FOMC meeting coming out. So I can see a possible pull all the way back down around to 510s to the to the 508s. I can definitely see that as that FOMC meeting is right around the corner for for them to buy as low as possible for that move right back on up. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that, Marty. Like I said, due to the fact is we have the FOMC meeting coming out, they could be setting themselves up for next week when you could have more of a powerful push back on up. Because as I mentioned before, every time you hit that trend line, look how powerful that move is. See that? Every time you hit that green trend line, you come on down, come on down, come on down. You hit that trend line, what happens? You have that powerful move right back on up. You hit that green line, you have a powerful move back on up. Because there's always something around the corner, whether it's an economics data or FOMC meeting that they're setting themselves up for a nice move back on up. So I can definitely see this pull back down to this trend line, to that 510 or 508. So we are coming back down. As you can see, 510, we're coming down to this 508 level. Because I told you, underneath 514, as you can see right here, I told you, you stay underneath 514, that'll work in the bulls in the bear's favor, because you'll have a nice little pullback on down towards this green line here, which right here, that'll work in a call's favor, because the lower we get to this area, you'll have a nice move back on up. So a sell-off, as far as a call, wouldn't be bad. I mean, you're getting into lower areas for a nice possible bounce back on up as the FOMC meeting is around the corner. So I do see a powerful move back down to the 510s to the possible 508s. We do have how many seconds left? We have 25 seconds left. So we are getting rejected off of that trend line, and we have came back on down towards this key area here. So we could be seeing a possible 510 to 508 level today. So that is a possibility, team. So I'm just making y'all aware of that. 510 to 508. We have 10 seconds left before the bell hits, team. So I can definitely see that happening. See that nice pullback. 3, 2, 1. Game time. Let's go. So yeah, we definitely getting that sell off towards that 510 to that 58. So we're gonna see buyers move in between those key areas, but I would prefer them come back all the way down to this 508ish level, where you have that nice support line where you can definitely have a strong bounce. But right now we have a bull flag setting up. You already know how that's gonna go. You know, you come on down, long candle, you do your H pattern, your little hump, where you come on down to the next leg, and the next leg from that 510 will be 508. So definitely keep that on watch at this moment. And then do remember, again, I told you I was going to have 4 million puts expiring today. So definitely keep that in mind. So I can definitely see an H pattern forming itself back on up. Forming itself, and then for a push back on down. So definitely keep that on watch for a possible H pattern for the next leg on down from that 510 basically to that 508. So definitely keep that on watch. Let's see where we get some resistance and a turnaround. How high could it go? Could see this, and then a nice move to the next leg on down to that 508. So that is trying to set up, and I do see a bear flag setting itself up, because you can definitely see that long candle. That's your confirmation that we always talk about. So all we gotta do now is wait for that H, for the hump to start to form, where you start to get stuffed at a certain area and you start to come back on down. So right now, just I'm gonna be waiting and anticipating for this to set itself up. So right now, 511 is definitely looking like resistance at this moment, where we can start getting stuff for that H, that hump to form. So I'm keeping on watch to see where we go, because I mean, this is definitely a bearish setup. So I'm just letting you guys know. So right now we got the confirmation of that long red candle. So now we got to do is wait for that hump to start forming, so we can come towards the next leg on down, which would be preferably around 508. So definitely keep that in mind right now. So I'm not going for a call right now, because it's definitely bearish. So we're just waiting on that leg to set up for that leg of that break, crack on down from 510 down to possibly 508. So just keep that in mind. So right now we're just waiting on that hump formation, that arch formation to occur. So we can look at this like this, sort of like here to here to here. So basically that's what I'm anticipating that could happen. So I want to see the buyers will move in. But we are underneath 512. We're underneath the trend line. So I want to see exactly how far we go, and how, where those bears are going to try to move back in. But it's going to be around somewhere around this key level, looks like around 1150 maybe. So let me see. Let me go back just a little bit. Where could they move in? As far as, let me go back. That is around 11. We had this bounce here. We had the old support area. All right, what was some areas we got rejected at though? Let's look at some rejection areas. I do see 1150. That's some old rejection areas around 1150 where you bounced and then you got rejected. So let's go back across the board. So for today, we are around 11. We didn't touch 1150 yet. Still got room to run up to that level. So I want to see around 1150. Yeah, I mean, I had a feeling, especially when I seen that and I thought about the FOMC meeting, I'm like, they would drop it as low as possible before the FOMC meeting because you're getting around a low area of a possible support. Because like I told you, Marty, anytime you get around that green line, that's where your support is, or that's where your buyers move in at, and that's going to be around that 510, 508 level. So again, if we go back across the board on this chart here, you can see every time we hit that green line, you have a strong movement back on up. Green line, strong movement back on up. And we are getting close to that green line once again, as it'll be around the 510, 508 level for a nice possible move back on up. So right now, this is setting up. We are showing some weakness. We are showing some weakness around that 511 mark, because again, we could be forming that hump on down and that crack of 510 down to 508. So definitely keep that on watch. Keep that on watch. Keep that on watch. We are getting that long upper shadow right now. So we could be forming that put opportunity, guys, to be pushing back, cracking that 510 to 508 level. Because we did get our candle, we got our red, we got our huge bearish candle. So we already know that's setting up for a bull flag, bear flag. I'm sorry, and we could possibly see in this H pattern form. We going our next leg on down from 510 to 508. So keep that on watch. So right now it's forming. It's forming right now. It's forming. So all you got to do is pay close attention to this area where you can get stuffed at, like we did at that 515 level yesterday, when you got stuff, and then you came right back on down to that area and cracked. So the same thing can happen today, but at a 510 level. So I'm definitely keeping this on watch. Definitely keep this on watch. Everything is still pointing down at this moment. So 511 for sure is holding up as resistance at this moment. 511, we can start to see that hump form on that H pattern. And start to come back on down to that 510 level, crack 510, back on down to 508. So just keep that on watch, team. Keep that on watch for the possible next leg on down. So just keep that on watch. Keep that on watch. Why does my chat keep disappearing? I hate when it does that, because I gotta keep bringing it back on up. Scrooge, good morning to you too, boss. I'm just not seeing you. So my apologies. AR Trades, good morning to you, because I didn't hit no So Gert, good morning to you. I'm giving a shout out to all y'all now, team. I see y'all. I see y'all in the building. I got y'all. I ain't forgot about y'all. So yeah, definitely we about to be forming that H pattern. So definitely we could be getting that curl. When again you get that H pattern, when you start to come up, you start to form that hump. And you start to come right back on down towards that support area. You crack support to a lower leg, to a lower area. So we could be forming that leg coming on up right here. So we could be doing that when we come back down to 510, crack 510 to a lower level for that next leg on down. So definitely keep that on watch. So we are getting stuffed at 511 at this moment. We are getting stuffed at 511. So it's going to keep trying to hit, and it's going to keep getting stuffed until we see a reversal back on down to that hump here. Let me bring it up just a little bit more so y'all can see it a little bit closer. So yeah, again, we got that confirmation of that bearish candle. So now, what we're waiting on is that leg to form where we go catch that leg on down. So again, I told y'all, don't chase those bottoms. Wait for the next formation. Wait for the next opportunity where you come up to a certain area and you go for the next leg on down. So yeah, don't never chase these bottoms and get pushed out of your position. Wait for the bounce to come on up. Wait for that stuff area to start to take place, and then you'll get that H pattern, and then you get that next leg on down. So definitely keep that on watch, team. So again, here, for example, again, you come on down, you bounce on up, you come into an area where you get stuffed, you come back down to that support, crack support, back down to the next leg on down. And that'll be preferably around 508. So definitely keep that on watch, team. Because it looks like we are starting to get weak already. We are getting stuffed at that 511 mark still. You see that, getting a long upper shadow to the top where we can start to pull back down, crack 510 to possibly 508. But we definitely got to get rid of 510, because you can see every time you hold 510, you go back on up. You see, you get a nice little pullback, like kind of right in this area you see right here. get a little pullback, you bounce off of 510, but your lowest area that it does go, because what's that lowest shadow on this one? What was the low? 508.50. So if we do get that pullback, we could possibly come down to this level of 508.50, kind of like we did here before we bounced back up to 510 and started to run back on up. You can see, for example, on this chart here. Let me bring it up just real quick. But we are starting to get that pullback. We are definitely coming getting that pullback already.
Soccer King says, I am waiting for 509.50 and ride to 508.50.
Gotcha, boss. But yeah, you see right here, the last time we hit, we tested that 510 level, and we had that push all the way down to around 5.850. You can see it on my low. Look at that. You see where the low is at? On my L up here. Watch where the low is at. 508.50. You reclaimed 508.50. You got back on top of 510, and then you started to go back this way. So definitely keep that on watch. So I definitely think we're going to push lower past this 510 to preferably around this 508.50 to 508 level, where it's going to cause us to bounce right off of this mark. So the same possibility can happen today as we come down, reclaim, buy, step in, reclaim 510 and start to move back up this way. So definitely keep that on watch. But we are pushing to a lower level again. As you see that, them sellers are definitely stepping in right now. Definitely stepping in. We are getting that H pattern. We're definitely getting that H set up. You can see that right here. Slowly getting that hump. We're getting that hump for that possibility of that next leg on down. So keep that on watch, team. You crack 510, you have the capability to go down to 508, 550 level. So definitely keep that on watch. Yeah, we definitely had a nice drop in pre-market. Definitely had a nice drop in pre-market. God, dope. I told you we got 4 million contracts. 4 million contracts that's expiring today on puts. 4 million. So you're going to have a lot of sellers coming in. So definitely keep that in mind. You're going to have a lot of sellers. Definitely a lot of sellers. So I'm just letting y'all, keep y'all aware of that. So where I'm at right now, 26. And we definitely shot back up. Good God. Put contracts already up 20. All right, shout out to you, Screw. Shout out to you, boss. Shout out. So we should be going on our next leg down coming soon, boss. Like I said, that hump is forming, but we are getting stuffed at that 511, and we could see a crack of 510 on down to 508, 508.50 to 508. So definitely just keep that on watch. Definitely keep that on watch. So it's definitely trying to push back up. We're gonna get right here in the stuff area again. So I definitely see that setting up. Definitely see that setting up. Where we at? What is this? $4? $4. Let me see something. Could I get in for a possible? Because I want to get in these little areas, but let me see. Back on up. Because I want to get in. If I do try to catch that leg on down, I definitely want to get into these high areas that we could possibly try to definitely keep that on watch. Keep that on watch. Keep it on watch. Because we're at $4 right now. Definitely pulling down to 4. I might go in for like one contract just to test it. I could do that. Because we are testing that area. I'm going to go in with one for sure. So I got in with one contract. So I definitely want to just keep this on watch. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just testing it. I'm not going in heavy. I'm just definitely testing this area. Let's see if we get that, we still pushing. Okay. Testing that 511. All right, 511. Still trying to catch these little low areas. These high areas. Let's see if we get that possible next leg on down. They're breaking that 510 mark. So I am up slightly. I am up slightly. Oh, I missed it. Hold up. Oh, I did get it. I just caught a quick little profit on that one. So, cut that one. I'm going to hold that. All right. Got another one. So, let's see if we get that crack. Got another one. Pull back. We are getting that hump. We are getting that weakness. Here we go. Keep it on watch. Taking profits when I have it. Not trying to hold and be greedy. Ain't trying to be stupid. So definitely moving on up. All right. Look like we want to drop. Just keep it on watch. Like I said, you always want to catch those areas, especially if you miss like I said, that candle. Wait for the next setup, because the next setup you're gonna pull. You got a possibility of going to this hump where you can crack that 510 and go to a lower level. So again, you always want to wait for your setups, and as you can see, pulling back on down, boom, boom,
says,
working in my favor. There you go.
Hey man, says you're live on Twitch, but it's not really showing anything.
Huh? Let's see. It's not showing anything. Is it set up? Showing that it's wrong. Oh, hold up. I do see what you're talking about. Why is it? I see what you're saying too, boss. So why is it not? Why is it not showing anything? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why is it doing that. And you can see we getting that pullback. See, that's what I told you. You want to catch that hump? Get in at the hump. Boom. I made a quick profit in and out. That's all you do. It's team is that simple. It's not hard to do. All you do is wait on pattern setups. See that? You heard when I got in? I got in at this step area.
Thought you should know, mate. Haha.
God, thank you so much though, boss. But I don't. Why is it not? That's weird. Why is it not showing anything? Because it's showing it's running on the OBS. That is weird.
Jatrid says, enjoying the content? Show your
Oh, shut up. Hey, with Sheps, if anything, just come to my YouTube if it's not working, boss. Boom! I told you. You get in on that hump, boom! There it is. Profit in your pockets, baby. Profit in your pockets, baby. Profits in your pockets. I told you. Jerov told you, boss. Ooh! Jerov making money. Scrooge making money. I told y'all that H pattern never fails, baby. Hey, I told you, like I said, you make that H, you're going down to the next. That's all y'all have to do. That's how you make money. Again, if you miss this huge red candle, don't try to get on the put at the bottom because you're going to bounce. So when you bounce back up, wait for that hump to form. That hump is the area that you're getting stuffed at. You're getting hit, which is around 511. Once you hit that level, you'll come right back on down. You'll test that 510, crack 510, and possibly down to 508. So right now, I mean, you are getting that hump. Everything's looking good. You're going on the possible next leg on down. And as you can see, that red candle is engulfing. I appreciate you so much, Sheps, man. Yeah, I do apologize. I don't know what the hell happened. Yeah, that's weird. Man, Jerry, shout out to you. Ooh, catch it. So I mean, yeah, you're getting a little pushback on up, but just keep this on watch at this 510 level. We should be cracking it soon. I mean, it's gonna be because you're gonna get a little bit of bounce, but you're still overall looking bearish. Still gonna be bearish, a bearish setup. So it might go all the way up to maybe 1050 back on down. But you do have that H pattern. So don't get shaken out of your position yet, boss. Do not get shaken out of your position because you still have that H pattern. Your bears are still in control, so don't get shaken out of that. We should be seeing a pushback down underneath 510. So don't get shaken out of your position. Play this pattern. Bears are definitely still in control. Don't get shaken out of your pattern. out of your position. We should be seeing a move back on down soon. So, because that 510 should start to hold up as resistance, and then once that 510 holds up as resistance, your bear should be moving in for a further push on down. As you can see, that's what's happening. So, like I said, it's so easy to follow these patterns, baby. No problem, Jerry Hop. No problem. I told you, man, as long as that pattern holds, because once you establish who's more in control for the day starting off, you know your bears are in control, man, play the pattern, because look like they'll go down possibly to the 508s. So, just don't get shaken out of your position. You will have a little bit of up and down going around that 510 level because that is an even number that, that is considered a support level as well and also considered as a resistance level. But it is showing signs of weakness, so that drop should be coming. Your bear should be weighing that down, 510 level down, and we should be going down even further. So keep it on watch. It's gonna be a little bit up and down, up and down, up and down, but you do see an upper shadow. So keep that on watch around this 510 level. It's up to you, boss. I mean, you can take your profits at 510. I mean, you don't have to, if you're not, if you're up a good amount, hey, take the profits when you have it. If you do want to hold on and see if we're gonna crack 510, do so. But again, when you remember what I told y'all, always put grateful over greed because you will succeed every single time. I always mention this before I get offline. So do keep that in mind. If you at 511, you got around 511, you come down to 510, that is $1 profit. You already know. But again, bears are still in control, but you will see somewhat of consolidation around 510. In that area, but I do still think that we're going to pull back even further underneath 510. That's just me personally. I think we're going to pull back down to that 508 level. I really do. I really think we're going to get some type of 508.50 to 508 touch. So right now, bears are in control. Do keep that in mind. Took enough for the rest is free. I don't care what it does. Would love for it to go down, but if it doesn't, yeah. And that again, boss. And that's how you determine your entries and your exits. Once you establish your entries, okay, now you have the capability to determine your exit strategy. Right now, Scrooge, as of now, we do have a possible support level at 510, but I do think we could go down a little bit further because it's going to touch that green line. You see where that green line is at? And your green line is around that 508. So I think we're going to get a nice little pull back to that level and then start to go back on up. So I do think we're going to get a somewhat of a 508 touch sooner or later. We may get it now. We may not. We may get it in a few minutes. It just all depends. But I do think we're going to get somewhat of a 508 touch somewhere along the line. I called out the H pattern, but I don't know how far the leg is going to go at the moment because I know it's going to be a lot of consolidation, a lot up and down around that 510 until those bears move in heavy at 510, which they're doing it now. They move it, there they go. Moving in at the area, start to pull it back down around 508.50 to 508. So, Jerhoff, look, so far you're doing good, boss. So far, 510 is holding. So let's see. Let's see if those bears going to move in and push it down even further. So right now, 510 is the Bears are trying to protect that territory, but again, you will see a lot of up and down around that level of 510 between the Bulls and the Bears. So definitely keep that in mind. So it's gonna be a lot up and down, a lot up and down, a lot up and down. So, but hey, you made profit. Hey, take it. Hey, take it while you got it. Hey, profit is profit. It's Friday, especially with Fridays. Fridays is always tricky. Y'all know this. So when we do not trade all the way till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever the case may be, Fridays we do half a day and we bounce our happy asses out of here. So I gave y'all the setup. I just told y'all where to get in at as far as that H pattern. Y'all made profit. Shout out to y'all. So, but just keep it on watch because it's gonna be some up and down. So basically, it's going to try to create a rotation. So right now, put it like this. The reason why you're going to see that, okay, let me ask y'all this question. Why you think you're going to see a lot of movements around 510 right now? Let me ask y'all this. Why y'all think y'all going to see why you think you're going to see a lot of movements around 510? Around that area. Can y'all answer that? I know what it is, but I want to see if y'all going to know it. What y'all think it is? Why you think that is consolidating around 510? We talked about this yesterday. Well, what is 510 right now? Because I want y'all to just think. Because remember, anytime, whether we're going on the upside or a downside, what did I tell you about the channels? Not just support, but what is it? Not just support, Marty, what is it? Because you got to remember, now that we're going down, you have to move your channel down. So once you move your channel down, what's 510 right now? Not resistance. It's both. But what is it? What's the main thing? What's the main word I always talk about? It's always a certain area. What we talk about? Pivot point. Pivot point. Pivot point. Remember that. It moves by two. Exactly. Pivot point, Marty. That now, because we dropped down, you remember, we're away from 514. 514 is no longer the pivot point now. So where do we drop to? 510. Because now you have to look at a channel of 512, 510, 508. What's in the middle? 510. What is 510? Your pivot point. Because now it's going to pivot at around 510 to 512 to 510 to 508 to 510 to 512. It's going to rotate, because now that is considered the pivot point now that we came down lower. Because now what you have to do is drop your channel. Now, this is support at the moment. You know, we do go down to that level. 10 is your pivot point, and 12 is going to be resistance because we're underneath 512. We gave that area up because we're underneath it. So, again, that's all you do, team. That's about the easiest way to do it. Now, you're in the channel of 512, 510, 508. Why is that? Because now you're into a pivot point of 510. If you hold 510 on the upside, you can go back up to 512. You lose 510, you have the opportunity to go back down to 508. So, wait, I forgot to add a line. That's my whatchamacallit line. Let me fix that real quick. 508, 508, 508. There you go, there you go. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. I mean, it's around, and then look where it's sitting up at. It's around that what? Green line. It's lining right around that green line. It's right around your strong support area where those buys can move in and push it right back on up. Because as I stated, every time you hit that green line, you have a powerful move back on up. Every time you hit that green line, you have a powerful move back on up. Every time you hit that green line, you have a powerful move back on up. Look where we're at right now. So we do have room to fall back down to that green line. And where's that green line around? 508, 508.50 to 508. So as you can see, right now we're in a pivot point. Because look how it was consolidating right around 510. Because now 510 is your decider. Look at that. See that? Pivot point. Here we go. So you're underneath 510. You can pivot on down and you can pivot on up. Always remember your pivot points. It don't matter. You can use the same terminology, the same strategy for any stock. It don't matter what stock you with. Tesla, Apple, Amazon, it don't matter. Nvidia. Always find a pivot point, and what you do is you take that pivot point and you look above to see exactly how high did it go before it pivoted back on down to that price point. Vice versa on the support level. How low did it go before it pivoted and went back up to that price point? That's how you find your highs and your lows, your resistance and your support. Because that particular price point is like a magnet. It goes up, it goes down, it goes down, it goes up around that certain price point. So at this moment, your pivot point is 510. So 510 can either pivot up, 510 can either pivot down. This is your pivot point. So right now, that's your mid area, 510. If you're underneath, it can work in a bear's favor where we can hold up as resistance and come on down to 508. However, if 510 holds, it can work in the bull's favor where you can hold above 510 as support, move up, back on up to 512. So keep that in mind. This is your pivot point for today. Yesterday was 514, but remember, we just came on down. We just had a drop. So you have to move your pivot point down. Then how low did we go? Towards the areas of 510. What's underneath 510? 508. And also, you have that trend line that can come down to 508 too. That's another reason. So as you can see, it's pivoting right now, slowly pivoting. That's why I was telling you, Jerhoff, be careful around this area because this is a pivot point that can either work up or work down. So right now, you're going to be in a pivot point until either the buyer step in and push it on up or the bear step in and push it on down. So that's how that works. So right now, yep, we are right around the pivot point where it's going to channel. It's going to kind of go into this little choppiness mode around 510 because you're going to see 510, 20, 510, 50, 510, 40, whatever. But it's always going to be the key area of 510. So definitely keep that on watch. So let me see, 510, 50. We're underneath 510, 50 as well. But your main focus is 510. So that is your pivot point. Norm, what's up, boss? Yeah, everything that's not working on that end, come over to my YouTube, boss. Because I don't know what the heck is going on with that. That's weird. I don't know why is it doing that. I don't know why it's not working. That's weird. Because it's showing that it's moving as far as my time. But why isn't it not? I'm trying to figure out what, because it's showing live. I do go to the live, but why isn't it not? I wonder if I can, let me see if I can restart it, maybe. Let me stop and start it. Let me see if it's going to work. Let me stop it. Did it stop? It didn't even, oh, there you go. Yeah, discard. All right, let me stop and let me start. Let's try it again. There we go. I think I got it. Is it? Is it working? There it is. There it is. Got it. I fixed it. Y'all good to go. Norm, y'all good. Y'all good. Booyah, booyah. Shout out to the guy. Shout out to all of the traders who did catch that H pattern that I alerted. I told y'all once we came on down, it's gonna go into that H pattern when you get that little hump, and then for a nice push on down. Shout out to y'all who for those who caught it. Who caught that pattern though? The one I called out. I called out the H pattern. Who caught it? Who caught it? I did. I know I jumped in real quick. So I called it out, man, because I mean, that pattern, I mean, it never fails, especially if you got the strong selling momentum. It works. It works. I'm telling you. That pattern, as long as you got that selling momentum there, those bears are in control, that pattern never pretty much fails. That works like damn near 90% of the time. I caught this entry drive before futures. Yeah, so I went in on that hump queen, and I was alerting that. I was telling everybody, don't chase that bottoms. Wait for that move back on up and wait for that hump to form. And what you do is you get in at this area and then wait for it to go down. So could we see another leg on down? Yeah, we could definitely see a leg on down. As long as you stay underneath 510, you can go down to 508. But like I said, it's going to consolidate right now because you are at this little pivot point. That's a very crucial area because that area is considered support and resistance. So you're going to definitely get like a little battle in between the bulls and the bears of trying to claim that territory. So either the bears is going to claim it, keep it underneath 510 and move it down to 508, or the bulls could claim that territory, hold it and turn it to support for the move back on up. So right now, yeah, it's going to definitely be a little battle, but I mean everything is still looking weak. Everything is still pointing down. I mean, I think the Bears still has it because you're underneath 510 regardless. Whether it's going up and down, you're getting choppiness or whatever. The key thing is it's underneath 510. You see red candles, you're underneath the line. That's all that matters. So that means is you're underneath. It don't matter if it's underneath it just a little bit. The fact is you're underneath that yellow line. That still means that the bears still have control because that is still considered resistance. That is still considered an overhead. So that means that if that continues to hold, that's going to lead to more downside. So like I said, me personally, I think we're going to see 508.50 to 508. I personally think so. When will we get it? I don't know. But the way that it's setting up, I still think that we're going to see 508 somewhere along the line. We're going to see that area before those buyers do try to move back in. Boom! So, god damn. What time is it? Oh, 10 o'clock. What came out at 10? 10. Oh, what the hell did come out? 10 o'clock. What was 10 o'clock? What was that? 10. Oh, that consumer sentiment. That's what it was. Consumer sentiment. Damn, I forgot about that fast. Consumer sentiment. I forgot about 10 o'clock. That slipped my mind that fast. I was like, God, dog. My mistake. But we are still getting weak. We popping. We are still underneath. Let's keep it on watch. Still keep it on watch. Still underneath 510, even though we're getting this little pop. Keep it on watch. Yeah, I had to reset it, boss. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah. Why's my thing not on? Norm, how you looking on your end, boss? Any trades? I told you this pivot point. This pivot point gonna be crucial between bears and bulls. See that how they fighting? That's that pivot point. Because again, your bulls claim it and hold above 510. You move up towards 512. You stay underneath 510. You have the capability to move back down to 508. So as you can see, still getting weak. We're back underneath 510 for the possibility to move back down to 508. So I still think we're gonna see 508.
What's up with Gruss?
What the hell is Gruss? y'all be throwing those weird up. When I told y'all, will we see 508? Did I call it? I'm gonna check it out, boss.
Oh no, you got voice alerts on.
Will we see 508? I called it. What did I say? I say 508.50 to 5. Cause look, we keep pushing closer and closer to that line. Look at that. Here we go. We getting closer and closer to that trend line, team. Look at this. We getting closer and closer. I told y'all. Jerhoff, you still in it, boss? I told you we're going to probably see 508.50 to 508. We're not too far from it. That drop's still coming. We still got room to fall. So I'm definitely keeping on watch. The bears are in control right now because we're in bear territory. We're underneath 510 still to 508. So we still got room. Still room to fall. We might see that 508 to 508.50 to 508 touch. I see it. Let's see. Keep it on watch. I still think we're gonna see 508. Cause how low did we go? What was the low on this candle? 509.22. So that's still an off number. Just like on the upside. You know how we get those off numbers on the upside? I'll be like, nah, that's not the tops. And then we wind up making a new top. So I'm gonna keep it on watch. I'm gonna keep it on watch because the buyers are trying to move in, but I still think we're gonna get that 508 touch. I still think 508 is still in works. I'm gonna keep it on watch. I'm gonna keep it on watch because we are definitely still downtrending. Downtrending still getting weak. We still underneath 510. Still underneath 510. Cause I just believe in my heart we're gonna see 508. I just still think we're gonna see it before we have that major bounce back on up. Cause I know that major bounce coming. I know that bounce is coming. But I think we're gonna hit that 508 before that bounce occurs. I think so. I think we're gonna see 508 first. I could be right, I could be wrong, but I'm sticking to 508 team. I'm still sticking to 508. So after that news came out, we did run up to 510. We started to pull back. Well, I mean, that was fast. I wouldn't have caught that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I probably would have missed that one. But do I see another setting up yet? No, not yet. Well, hold up. Because you got this first H pattern. This can be this could be the second leg on down. Because we already got that first leg here. This can be somewhat of a second leg on down. So that could be another H forming. Because we got stuff that was around the open around 510. What was that? 510 what? 510.21. So you got stuff right in this area. So I'm gonna keep that on watch because it could set up for another leg, possibly. So I want to see what's about to happen. But I did catch that first one. I caught that first one. I caught that quick profit. I didn't hold long though. I got in, got out. Man, I made a nice little profit. I was up 100 on that one because I went in with one just to test it, which I could have went in with more, but it is what it is. But Jerhoff, you still in your play? Oh, what do you, let me hurry and check out Norm's, why this is happening. I'm gonna just watch it on the side to see where them prices go, because I still think them prices gonna shoot up where we at? Spy. Nope, he said all out. Oh, man, there go that next leg on down, too. It made another H. It made another H. Cause I told you we might see 508. We could possibly see 508. Because I told you, as long as you stay underneath 510, Bass is going to have it. I told you, you're going to see a lot of up and down. But the main focus is, as long as it stays under that, watch. 508. Where we at? 509.30? I'm telling you, 508. I'm shooting for 508. 508.50 to 508. Because where we at right now? 508.20? Come on, 508. Shoot. Do it. Yeah, I got you, boss. I got you, boss. I'm telling you. I feel it in my heart. 508 wants to touch 508. I'm telling you. 508.
Go, drop fur.
Dude, I'm telling you. Look, 509. Watch. 508. I'm telling you. In my heart, I'm telling you. 508. 508. Come on. You want to see 508. Stop playing. What was the low? Oh, there. We ain't crossed that 509 yet. 508. I'm telling you. 508 coming. 508 coming. 508. 509. Come on. 508. You want to do it. I know you want to. 508. Come. I'm about to clap my hands. Up. Come on. 5. I told you. Oh, man. 508, baby. 508. I say between 508.50 to 508. So, all right, let's go. Okay, my first alert was 508.50. So, let's see. I say 508.50. I'm calling 508.50 first. Let's see if we get it. Oh, man, if I ain't call that bad boy. Oh, I told you. Boy, those H patterns is a beast. I told you. Who caught that H pattern? Who caught that second H pattern? Who caught it? That was 2 H's in one. You had H1 and you had H2. Who caught it? Who caught that bad boy? Can you show the H pattern? It's right here, boss. Yeah, look, it's right here. You had 2 of them. So if you go, I can show you though. Ain't no problem, boss. I got you. No problem at all. So you had H1. and H2. So you had, coming off of that line, you had that first H for that leg on down, and then you take that part here, you had another H on down. And if you notice, it's making a what? Downtrend. See that? So it all comes together to make a single downtrend. Easy. Boom, downtrend. There go your H pattern on these downtrends. Boom, boom, boom. See? H1, H2, downtrend. Crazy how that work, huh? It's crazy how that work, huh, Screws? That's crazy on how you can see all of that within like that one pattern. You can see a downtrend. You can see an H. You can see a leg on down. That's crazy, huh?
508 gang.
I know, right? I called it 508. I was trying. I still think we'll see 5. I'm still screaming 508.50. I still think we'll come down to 508.50. I'm still screaming that because you got a lot of. Because again, y'all gotta understand. We got 4 million contracts of puts expiring, man. So of course they're gonna come in hard. Why you think I kept posting that over and over and over? How many times I kept showing y'all that chart pattern? Going in for calls. Not yet, boss. I'm waiting. Again, I got to get confirmation first. I don't just jump in. Hell to the no. Again, I got to, I could, but I'd rather wait because I can either wait for, for them to move back on a VWAP. Because even if you miss the 508, say for instance, you don't get that 508, man, you still got room to run back on up, boss. Because think about it. You come down to 508, man, you got room to run back up to 510, 512, 514, 516, back up to that 518 mark. Because look right here. Look, for example, you come all the way down to this level here. Look how much room you got to still run and still get in. Look at this. You missed this level, you still got here, 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 all the way to get to that red line. So anytime you miss like that level, get in here, 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 all the way to get back up to the level.
Breaking, I'm coming here.
Because I'm telling you going.
Says,
Is that?
Norm.
Twitch me breaking. Okay, appreciate you, boss. I got you. But yeah, notice every time you hit that green line, AR, you get a nice movement back on up. So say for instance you don't get in at this green line, you're gonna still have room to still get in and to participate. Because again, you get in on this green line, you got room to still get in here, here, all the way till you get to that red line, which is strong resistance. You got that strong support, strong resistance. So if you miss that area, you still got room to get in all into these areas before you get up to this top. And the reason why I told y'all, shout out to you, G Money. Thank you, boss.
Gaurav tipped $3.
Shout out to you, boss. It's been a minute since I got a donation. I forgot all about that. I ain't gonna lie to you. But appreciate you, boss. I got you. I'm gonna hook you up on the chart, the overhead, my leaderboard. But yeah, the reason why AR trades, the reason why I was thinking they was gonna pull back down this low and we was gonna catch a hard drop like that, because AR, what's next week? Think about it. What's coming up next week? What we got? Exactly. So think about it. If you put it like this, if your buyers can get as low as possible, getting away from those highs, right? Because you want to buy as cheap as possible. So you would want to get in the 508s, 510s in those little areas, because once the FOMC meeting comes out, look how much room you'll have to run back on up. Look at this strong movement back on up. So they're setting it up. That's all they're doing. Just like they was doing for the PPI datas and the CPI datas. What were they doing the day before? You remember how we catch those drops and I was warning everybody? I said, y'all might want to be careful because they're dropping it on purpose because they're creating bad traps. And it's exactly what was happening. Because what happened when that CPI data came out after that pullback the day before? What was that? Oh, my bad. Yeah. They set up a bad trap, and then what happened after the bad trap? It did a slingshot right back on up. So what you think they're doing right now? Why are you thinking they dropping it as low as possible, getting it right back to that green line? Because what's next week? The FOMC meeting. Because once the FOMC meeting comes out, what could possibly happen? What could possibly take place at that green line? You get that nice move back on up. So think about that. You got a big opportunity coming up, and then you already know Uncle JP, once he starts speaking, they're going to go crazy. So the minute you touch that green line and they trying to get it as low as possible this week, once next week rolls around, look what could possibly happen. Boom. After that green line, that trend line touch, look at the power of that. Look at the power of that movement. Look at this. You break through that trend line, run up all the way to this trend line. Here, you had so much power here, you broke through these two trend lines all the way up to the red line. Look how much power that had just by bouncing off of that green line. Look at the power it has. The power of this green line. Look at this. Boom. Look at the movement that happens after you touch this area. Look at this. Where those buyers move in for a nice strong move back on up. Look at this. Buyers move in for a strong movement back on up. Green line, green line. Where do you think it's trying to go right now? It's trying to get as close to that green line as possible due to the FOMC meeting because they know buyers going to move in for a nice strong movement back on up. So of course it's going to sell down because dealing with the FOMC meeting, who wants to buy high? What buyer or what call wants to buy at the 518s, 516s, even the 514s? If you know an important data is coming out next week, when you want to get in as low as possible for a possible movement back on up, when you want to buy in cheap, where you can sell high, when you want to do that. So in order to avoid buying to the highs, what are they going to do? They're going to let the sellers take place. They're going to let those puts come in and drag the market down as low as possible. Let them get their profits. Let them have their little fun. Because that's basically what a trade is. You're trading off. So basically, the buyers are allowing the sellers, the puts, to have their fun for the day. Have that little drop on out. Boom, boom, boom. But then when next week rolls around, then the sellers are going to allow the buyers to move in and push the market back on up. Because you think about it, once you trade off, it's working in both favors. Because the buyers are allowing the sellers to pull it back on down because it's making the price is cheap. So you're getting in that cheap area. So basically the sellers are doing the buyers a favor because you're buying in cheap. Vice versa, once the market goes up, you're doing the puts a favor because you're going in high as possible. You're going to expensive prices where those puts can come in and drop it back on down in profit. So all it's doing is just rotate it. All it's doing is rotate it. It's rotating from puts, calls, or however you're doing it, buy, sells. That's all it is. So it's like one is benefiting from one situation. You have buyers benefiting from this situation. You got sellers benefiting from this situation. Buyers benefiting from this situation. Sellers benefiting from this situation. So if you notice, red to green. You notice how it shifts? Green to red, red to green, green to what? Red. What's going to be happening after the red? Green. So once those sellers, once you do away with all these contracts, as far as your puts, then your buyers are going to move in because you're buying in a low area for a movement right back on up. Because if you're buying in low as possible and the FOMC meeting comes out and we spike, which you already know, once you hit that green line, you already see the effect of that. You're buying in low. Look at your reward level. Look at this. Look how much reward you have. Every time you hit that green line, reward. Every time you hit that green line, reward on the call side. See that? Every time you hit this red line, reward on the put side. Every time you hit this line, reward on the put side. Hit this level, reward on the put side. See that? Hit put side. Reward for your puts, reward for your calls. Plain and simple. So all you're doing is going from green to red. See that? See that shift? How you moving on down? So all you're doing is going now into the bull area, the demand zone. So that's going to be a good call opportunity to go what? Back on up. All it is doing is rotating. You're rotating. You're rotating from the highs and you're rotating down to the lows. That's all you're doing. So all we're doing now, let the sellers, let the puts, have fun with it. Let them push it down as much as possible. But your buyers are about to be moving in. Because as long as that trend line holds, this is a strong demand zone. Look at your buyers right now. Look what's happening. Look at your buyers. Look how strong. See what I mean? Look at this. Look. See that?
Soccer King says.
Look at the effect.
I see 510.50.
But look at the bounce. Look at the pass. Look. 510. See my yellow line? Look at this. Bounce. 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 Where are they at right now? 510, right? Bounce. See that? So now the buyers are trying to come in, hold that 510 level, because now they're about to start stepping back in and start to push it back on up. As you can see right here, the effect to it right here. See that? 510. See the effect of that 510 level?
Says,
boom.
Stream go offline.
Again? Wait, on what platform? Oh, he said Twitch. Wait, is he doing it again? Oh man, Twitch tripping today. No, showing it is on. Yeah, no, it's on. It's on.
My YouTube just went down. Twitch been laggy and bad. Norm says, we're back on YouTube.
Yeah, well, because that's basically my mainstream. The mainstream is YouTube. It's bouncing off of YouTube onto the other platforms. So YouTube is my main channel that I use. So yeah, but as you can see, look at this. Every time 510.
Norm says, might even be me. Okay, I'm gonna go to YouTube.
Shout out to you, boss. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So look, I mean, like I said, pay close attention to these levels. Pay close attention. So while we setting up, or if you're going for a call, just watch for the setups. Look at this. You got as close to that green line as possible. You move, your buyers move back on in. You see that? Every time you get towards that area, towards that green line, look where your buyers move in at. See that? Let's go back. Every time you get towards
AST
this.
says, we good might be.
Okay, appreciate you, boss. See, but every time you move towards this green line, buyers move back on in. You notice that, right? Every time you touch that green line, buyers move back on in. Same thing here. You touch that green line, buyers move back on in. Where do we go? Look how close we came to that green line. So what do you think is going to possibly happen? Buyers are going to move back on in. So you got to close to this bounce here area. Now buyers are about to start stepping up. So definitely keep that on watch because we about to probably start shifting now. Because now we're above 510. That means that we now in the bull zone because remember your pivot point. So let's go back to that 510 bracket. See, we're above 510. That means your bulls are trying to hold that as a floor now for the possible rotation back up to 512. So now that we already done covered this area, now your buyers about to start moving in and start pushing it back up this way. So keep that on watch. I mean, will you still have some pullbacks around this area? Yeah, of course. Still gonna have pullbacks around this key area. But look how many times you bounced in that area and how many times it held up really well as far as support. Your buyers moved in every single time you got around 510. Here, here, and even here. And you still went on up. So right now it's just a startup. See that? Because look how many times we had to bounce around 510 before it actually established a solid support before we actually started moving away from 510 up to 512, 514 and on up. See that? You didn't test it once, twice, 3 times. So you had 1 pullback failure, 2 pullback failures, 3 pullback failures. Because every time your bears try to come in and pull underneath 510, what happens? Buyers step in, reclaim 510, which causes a pullback failure. So that was 1 pullback failure here, pullback failure here, pullback failure here. Why is that? Because they couldn't crack 510. Same thing here. They tried to crack 510, and what happened? As of now, so far, it is a pullback failure right now. But at the same time, as they keep trying to pull back to 510, what happens? Your buyers keep trying to move in to hold above 510. So if you notice, after this pullback, your buyers start to slowly move in, and you notice that those pullbacks around 510 is not getting deep anymore. Because the deepest pullback you had was down here to this 509. What was the low on this candle? 509.21. No, 508.87. So, okay, this was your deep pullback, right? So after this, let's just see once those bears try to pull back, do we get more deep pullbacks like this? Or will those pullbacks start to shorten? Start getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So this was your main pullback. This was your deep pullback as of now. So to understand, and I'm talking about it, to understand as far as the direction of the market, all you got to see is will the next pullbacks surpass this level? If none of the next pullbacks coming can pull back past this level, that means that the buyers are holding that area well and those bears are failing to pull back below 510. So that means that 510 is going to turn into a strong support line for a move back on up to possibly 512. So that means now, instead of going down, you're going to actually start to go up. You're going to start to actually build higher lows. 510, 512, 514, 516, back on up. So right now, as of now, 510 is holding at this moment. So if 510 can hold, what's going to be the next level for your calls? 512, because you want to start to slowly move back on up. So if those bears cannot pull back and they continuously get pullback failure, pullback failure, pullback failure, 510, that means that those areas will turn into more of a stronger demand zone, trapping those bears for a stronger push back on up. Because what leads to a strong push? You'll have to create a bear trap and push them out of their position, because what the bulls are going to need to do is they're going to need a strong force. They're going to need enough buy the covers. They're going to need enough buying pressure to break back towards areas that they couldn't break before. So if they can set up a bear trap where they can trap the bears and create those squeezes, that squeeze is going to give them the momentum that they need to break past back towards those areas that's resistance, that can turn back into support. 511, 512, 513, 514. That's going to give them the ammo. So as long as they keep setting up bear traps, squeezing those bears out of their position is going to continuously move on up. So for what we're going to do is, and I'm going to show you, for example, on what I mean is, okay, right now 510 is going to be a territorial area for the bulls because now you're on top of 510. So what you want to focus on to understand the direction of the market from this point on, okay, as long as you hold 510, pay close attention to those pullback failures, right? So that means your bears are gonna try to come in, right? Your bears are gonna try to come in and pull underneath 510. So if you notice, if they can't get deep pullbacks and they start to struggle, that means that is a possible bear trap setting up to squeeze them out of their position, which you'll go back on the upside. So right now here's another pullback. So let's keep it on watch. Let's keep it on watch. So here's your pullback. So let's see what's gonna happen. Will you get a pullback success or will you get a pullback failure? If we do get a pullback, can we go as low as this level here? So keep that on watch. So that's how you kind of start to see the upside, basically the transition. So we're going to keep this on watch. So now you get your pullbacks, your bears are starting to come in. So let's see what's going to happen. So if they fail to pull back below 510, that's going to turn into a strong, solid demand zone where those bulls are sitting at now, protecting their territory to trap in those bears for a possible move back on up. So I'm keeping it on watch, because they are trying to pull it. So let's see, can they hold it? Let's see, can they succeed in it? See how you get those pullback failures right now? Because now that those bulls are moving right into that territory and trapping those bears. You trap those bears. Okay, let me ask y'all this. When you trap the bears, what happens? When you create bear traps, what happens? It's stuck in between the AMA, VY, expect to pop soon. Yeah, because like I said, now that's your pivot point. Remember what I told y'all. You stay on top of the pivot point on the upside, that means that it favors the bulls for a movement back on up. If you stay underneath 510, then it favors the bears for the move on down. So you're above 510, on top of your pivot point for a move to go up this way. And it does look bear flaggish. It does look like a bear trap setup, as I was telling y'all, bear trap where 510 is holding. So now that those buyers are holding this as a strong demand zone, what's going to be next? 512. So if you notice, look at the candle. Look right here. See that? They're holding above 510. I told you. Look at this. Boom. Trapping those bears for movements back on up. Same area. Notice that? 510. You start to move yourself right back on up because you didn't caught that bounce close around that trend line. This was a strong demand zone. So keep that on watch. Keep it on watch. See what I mean? Boom, bear trap. Because if they can create as many bear traps as they can, especially today, because you got to think about it, especially with 4 million contracts being expired today, especially on puts, it's going to squeeze the crap out of them. It's going to lead to a huge squeeze. So look what's happening. Am I lying? You see it right there in your face. So let me see how many contracts. Let me see how did it go up or did it go down? Let me see where the contracts is at right now. Let me see how many people got out of their contracts. Let me double check it. Where we at right now? We have 4.1 mil. 4.1 million as far as the put contracts out of the money. So that's definitely, especially if they start getting squeezed out of their positions. And knowing that those contracts going to expire today too, and they can't get those pullbacks that they want, what's going to have to happen? They're going to have to get forced out of their position. What's going to happen with that? That's going to lead to a squeeze on up. So if they can't get these pullbacks that they wanted, especially I know a lot of them trying to short at 510 because you can see it right here. A lot of them are trying to short at 510. So you got to think about it. If they can't break 510, because you got to think about it on the call or put side, time decay, what else? Delta, theta, all of that situations, that's going to not work in their favor. That's going to go against them. They're going to be forced out of their contracts. So once they get forced out of their contracts, that's going to do away with the weight of the puts. So keep that on watch. So right now, 510 is still holding. So that meaning they are not getting that pullback that they're anticipating as far as on the put side. Right now it's a pullback failure. 510 is holding strong. So that means that has turned into a demand zone. So that means that the puts are not getting what they want. So you're not getting a pullback. You're not breaking 510 yet. You're holding above 510. But as long as that keeps holding, that's going to cause those bulls to secure that area. So that means more buyers are going to come into that area. Like I said, we could still get pullbacks, but I want to see how strong it is. I want to see if they get this pullback. Will we get a pullback failure or will we get a pullback success? Because they didn't try it once, failed. Tried it twice, failed. Now we can try it again. So I'm keeping on watch, keeping on watch. So 510 is going to be your pivot point. And again, see if they can try to pull it back down. But those buyers are not allowing it. It's holding up as a solid floor. It's holding up as a solid floor. And what makes it worse for the puts is if they can't crack it, look what's slowly moving up with it. Your 9 EMA, your 20, your VWAP, everything is going to start to soon turn into somewhat of a support level where they can't pull it back underneath. Because look where that VWAP is at. Look, see that? It's like lining up right where that VWAP is at, because that can help as support, which they can also trap the bears again. Look, you already didn't trap your bears here. You didn't trap your bears here. Here we go. So keep it on watch, because you had a pullback failure here, pullback failure here, pullback failure here. 510 is holding strong. So keep it on watch. We are trying to get back on top of this VWAP, because the only other way to move is to move back this way, as long as you stay on top of 510. So we're going to keep it on watch to see where we go. Because again, you're going to get some pullback attempts. That's going to happen, because you're going to have some push trying to come back in and pull down underneath 510. So just keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. And see, every time they pull back, buyers move in. They pull back. You see that buying pressure? Every time they try to pull back to 510, those buyers move in right around 510. See that? See that buying pressure? So that's how I'm trying to help y'all on how to read a chart. So all you got to do is just look at key areas. It's not about watching just the candles go up and down, up and down, and up and down. You got to understand the price point itself on what's causing those candles to go up and down, and why is it doing that? Why is 510 going up and up, up and down, up and down? Because 510 is a pivot area, because it's beneficial for buyers and sellers. Above is beneficial for the buyers. Underneath is beneficial for the sellers. So, as you can see, the bears are trying to pull underneath 510, but they're failing. They're getting pullback failure after pullback failure after pullback failure. After this move here, buyers stepped in, reclaimed 510, and sellers are having trouble trying to get back underneath 510. So again, we're just slowly watching this setting up, but I'm just teaching you guys on how to read a chart. Pretty much, that's easy. All you do is look at certain price points. So we know already that 508 is your support for your lows. We know 510 is your pivot point that makes a decision on up or down. We know 512 is your resistant area that needs to either be broken or rejected still, because that's still a resistant area. So we know for sure that we are in this channel. We know that this is a pivot point that can make a decision whether it wants to go up or wants to go down. So at this moment, what is causing trouble for the sellers? They cannot crack 510 at this moment. 510 is holding very strong. So we're on top of 510. That demand is getting stronger and stronger around this key level, meaning that some of your buyers are moving in this area to protect this area. So that means that if they continuously hold 510, basically what I'm saying is, okay, the more that they try to hold 510, it exhausts the sellers, right? It exhausts them, because they can't pull it back down 510. So what does that mean? Again, your contracts is being worn out, time decay. So what are you forced to do? You're forced to get out of your contract. And once you get out of your contract, that takes the weight off of those contracts that we have set up for the expiration dates for today. Because you remember how we had 4 million? We had 4.1 million. So again, if you're not getting the move that you want, and that time decay is steady coming in, you're forced out of your contracts. You have to get out of your contracts. That means that weight is getting lifted. The weight is getting lifted. The weight is becoming less heavy because of people getting out of their put contracts, and versus the people that still holding their call contracts. So the more that their weight is getting lighter and lighter on the put side, because of people getting out of their contracts, because they're getting exhausted, because they're not getting the pullback that they want, that means that those buyers are now stepping in. Now the buying weight is moving up while the selling weight is going down, which causes bad traps, which causes squeezes to happen, which that means you go on bigger moves up versus going down. So if you notice how the sellers are getting exhausted right now because they still haven't pulled back under 510. Just keep on watching. Taking the race of the day for education. Good luck. Appreciate you, boss. Got you. So yeah, all you gotta do is pay close attention to your price point. Always find your pivot point, why, and understand why is it so important. Why is it so important to stay above? Why is it so important to stay below? Again, if it's above, it benefits the bulls. If it's below, it benefits the bears. So all we're doing is keep it on watch before we go to any other prices. All we want to do is watch this pivot point. We want to watch this pivot point. Can the bears take control of 510 and actually drag it underneath? Or will the bulls protect this territory, and actually push it back on up? So that's just going to be the focus as of now. As everything is still setting up, because again, they haven't got that successful pullback yet underneath 510. They've done it once, but then your bulls moved in, reclaimed 510, and got back on top of 510. So pretty much the bears' goal is to pull it back underneath 510, turn it back into resistance for a further fade on down. So again, as you can see, this fight and these bears are having trouble pulling underneath 510. So keep it on watch. And as they continuously fail, if they don't get it, they could not. Just say if they don't. If they fail to pull it back under 510, watch the exhaustion, and you're going to start to see the moves. Just keep it on watch. Just keep it on watch. We're trying to pull back again. Here we go again. Here we go again. Let's see if they get it. Can they get a pullback success now? Still failing. See that? Keep it on watch. They getting a little bit exhausted, because if you notice, now the pullbacks are not even touching 510. So if you notice, every time you came down, you touched 510, you touched 510, you came around 510. Whereas you notice right here, these pullbacks are not even come back down to 510. So what is that telling you? Them buyers are pushing them up. The buyers are pushing up. So if you notice, look at this. Every time you get these pullbacks, you're not even touching 510 anymore. Now you're touching the pink line. See that? The pullbacks are failing. See that? You're not even, these were the only closest pullbacks you had to 510. Now these pullbacks are not even touching 510. So if you notice that, they're getting exhausted. Those pullbacks are becoming more exhausted. So what does that mean? As they get exhausted, that means they're getting out of their contracts. So once you get out of your put contracts, that means, again, you are lessening the weight. The weight is becoming less heavy now because you are exiting out of your position. So all we're doing is just keeping this on watch. Again, I'm just keeping it on watch. I'm just keeping it on watch at this level. I'm not taking my eyes off of it. All I'm doing is watching 510. That's all I'm going to watch this whole entire time until it makes a specific move. Reminder to everyone, 51109 is the 13 EMA on the daily spot. Appreciate you, boss. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So yeah, all I'm doing is watching this price level. That's it. Because look how we keep hovering around 510. Why? Because 510 is your pivot point. So that is an important level. But as you notice, look at the pullbacks. It's not strong anymore. Look at this. You had strong pullbacks here and here and here as far as following the put side of the bears. But look how weak these pullbacks are becoming. It's not even touching 510. So just keep but again, that's how you read your charts. That's how you understand these levels to be like, okay, which side should you go on? What could possibly happen? That's how to look at these levels. Understand your pullbacks, understand your patterns, your shifts, and that's what I look out for. So as you notice, look at this. They're getting tired. Now your bulls are moving in. See what I mean? So that means you're getting tired. You're getting the higher levels. Now y'all understand where I'm coming from? Look at this. Boom. Told you. That's how you read it. Team, that's really how you read this. It's about as easy as you can get. All you do is just watch those levels. Look where we're at right now. Look at this. See that? I told you. You exhausted them out. Now you see how to read this? All I did was break it down to y'all so y'all can see exactly, so y'all don't get caught in the choppiness, so y'all can understand the pivots, the motions, the rotations. So all you're seeing is those sellers have fell into pull back to 510.
Soccer King says, we will see 512 today 7.
I think we'll see higher than that. I think we'll see higher than 512. But I told y'all it's exhausting those contracts. It's exhausting those puts. So when you exhaust those puts, what happens? Your buy-in goes up. Your buyers move in. So I told you. That's all you got to look out for, team. That's it. That's the easiest thing to look out. That's how you see it. So you don't get caught in choppiness. So you can understand the direction of the market, who's in control, whether it's the buyers, whether it's the sellers. That's how you do it. All you have to do is just step back and just observe. Step back and observe the movements. That's it. Find your pivot point. Your pivot point can lead to upside and your pivot point can lead to a downside. As is in between this area, all you're asking yourself is, especially on a Friday, because you done did your research, because again, we have 4.1 million puts expiring a day, so that's gonna affect them in a bad way, because especially if they're not getting the pullback that they want, because again, time decay, theta getting ate up, delta going down, everything is not going the way that they want to. Now we're getting into a bounce area, and then you can see off of your patterns here, every time you bounce around that green line, your buyers step in, as you can see that right here. Buyers are stepping back in, and again, look, squeezes. I told you, you're exhausting out those contracts right now. You exhausted them out. See that? See how easy it was to spot that? How easy it was to just call that? Look at the shift. Already. Off of your pivot point, back up to 512. Look at this. See that? Easy. That's how you know what side to get on. So, okay, if I was say for instance I was going for a call, how I know when to jump in? Pretty much the break of 12. If I see 512 break and rerun back on up, because therefore 512 would turn back into a support line. Jay, you gotta take some of these calls out. Well, that's gonna be hard to do. I can't, because the reason why, I ain't getting no for no short, hell to the no. Cause the only reason why I wouldn't do it, again, Marty, look how strong that trend line is. Every time you get around that green trend line, what happens? Look, every time you get around that green line, what happens? Let's go back. Every time you get around that green line, what happens? So you really think about going for a put after watching this over and over and over? Hell to the no. I ain't set myself up for failure. When it's telling me right there in my face, yeah, go ahead for a put around that green line and see what happened. Yeah, go ahead for a put around this green line and see what happened. Go ahead around this green line and see what happens for a put. Going around this area for a put and see what happens. It's telling you more and more what's going to happen. Like, nah, I don't think I should go in for a put. I was like, nah, I don't think I'm going to do that. I mean, it's just every time you get around that green line, boy, those buys step in heavy. Those buys step in and move. Matter of fact, where the hell is my volume, boy? Now that I'm thinking about it. Wait, where is my volume? Oh, I think I know what happened. Oh, that's why. I was like, man, where's my volume, boy? Why did I not see my volume, boy, on this bell, boy? Take that off. Nope, I don't need to overlap. There you go. Because I couldn't see it. I was like, man, what the hell? All right, here we go. Yeah, I am definitely about not putting no put around that green line after it tells me on the power of that line. Hell to the no. Oh, no. Negatory. I'm not touching that. I would rather the buys push it up towards the red line where I know it's a bear territory. Because every time you hit that red line, those puts move in. You hit around the red line, puts move in. Red line, puts move in. You hit around the green line, calls move in. Green line, calls move in. So this is pretty much bull territory. This is pretty much bear territory. And this is bull's territory. And I'm not touching that. And as you can see, the power right now that's trying to take place, I'm not touching that. Negative. Oh, no. Because especially if you close above 512 before 1 o'clock for the next candle to come, you got room to run up to 514 to 516. So, yeah, that's not happening. As far as a put, negative. Now I can switch over to a call side. I ain't switching over to no put side. Hell to the no. Because the put was all the way down around 508. You already touched 508. Now you're going back on up. No. See, that's how you get burnt. Because especially, not you, Marty, but I'm talking about other traders. That's how you.
ASD says,
What you see?
man, I've got so many lines on my chart I can barely read it.
No, boss. ASD. All I got is 4 lines. If I take off these, all I'm doing is looking at the size, this diagonal trend. That's all I'm looking at. I could take off all these lines, these horizontal lines. I could take all of these off. I don't need them really. All I need is to keep my diagonal line. That's it, boss. That's it. That's all I need. Is this red line, this red diagonal, these 2 yellow diagonals, and this 1 green diagonal. And if you notice, look how SPY moves in this channel. Look at this. I know exactly where my puts is at. I know exactly where my calls is at. That's all I do. As long as that trend line holds, hell, I can play the same channel for like a year. I can play the same line, the same channel for 2 years, as long as it holds. Because again, all it's gonna do is rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's it. Bottoms, tops, tops, bottoms. That's it. So all I do is play off of that. You know, I don't look at I only put the horizontal line for the traders, for the ones who don't see it, because I don't need it, because I know exactly where it goes.
ASD says, what time range on the chart are you looking at again?
180, boss. 180 12. 180 12. So all you have to do, look, I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna show you how to do it real quick. I'm gonna take off my lines and I'm gonna show you. So all I'm gonna do, look, I'm gonna show you how easy it is. All you gotta do, clear this real quick. Make sure I put my lines back, because I don't want to have to go through drawing all this crap again. It's a pain in my ass. But let's see. Take a diagonal line. You find your support first. You can find your support, right? Find a support. Let's just say, I know I'm rushing to do this, but I'm just gonna show them how fast it is. How fast it is. All you do is go to your tops. I mean, I know it ain't perfect right now, because it took me some time to fix it. My other one. I'm just giving you an idea on what to do. All you do is find your support, duplicate that, bring it up to your tops, and then to find your middles, you do the same exact thing. You just duplicate it, then you go to these areas, and then you make another duplicate, and then you go to the bottom areas. That's pretty much it. Something like this to this liking. But that's it. That's about as easy as you can make it, AS. All you do is find a support, duplicate your support, put it up to your tops. See if your top matches. Boom, you got your tops, you got your bottoms. That's done. After you do that, make another duplicate. Now find your middles. That's it. That's all I did. So watch. Let me go back to my drawing. Ooh, let me put my... Yeah, see? That's all I did. I found my support. I made a duplicate, put it up to my tops. That's all. That was it. I made 2 lines starting off. I made a duplicate, put it up here, and then after that, I figured out my middles. But I first started with a bottom and the top. Yeah, no problem, boss. But yeah, that's all I did when I first designed this. All I did was I started off with a support line first. I actually started here first, but then once it started getting a deeper drop, I added another line. So now all I did was make a duplicate from my bottoms, bring it up to the top, and then all of a sudden I found my middle areas. That's all I did, boss. That's about all I did. Matter of fact, Martin, let me see, because you said it's on the you said at 13, right? Let me see. 13 EMA. 13 EMA is... Oh, yeah. You're right. Around at 511.20. Yeah, I do see it. 511.20 on the 13. Appreciate you, Marty. I forgot about that. You're right. So 511.20 has to break. But your buys are moving in, so you probably could break it. You might get a little pullback, but I think the market is shifting. Look at your volumes. Look at your volume down here. You got look how many volume candles, green candles versus red. You got 2 reds, and now it's all buyers taking control right now. Yeah, it's going up. I'm just gonna tell y'all right now, it's going up. Don't even set yourself up for failure. I'm just being honest with you. It's up to you. It's your account. Don't set yourself up for failure. Don't do it. You had a put opportunity at here. But you have to also understand, look how far you dropped to, and look how strong that green line is, and the powerful, the impact that it makes once you bounce off of it. You going for a put. That's your account. But I'm just trying to tell you, to give you the right on what not to do, because you will, I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10 you about to shift. Because every time you come down towards that line, look at the power, look at the buying pressure. Every single time you touch it around that green line. You done seen the proof right here. Every time you touch that green line, look at the buying pressure. Every time you touch that green line, look at the buying pressure. Every time you touch that green line, buying pressure. And you'll go from red to green all the time. Red to green. Red to green. Where you at right now? Red. And then 9 times out of 10, what you going to probably shift to? Green. So, yeah, you go ahead for a put. I ain't doing it. I'm good. Nah. If anything, I'd rather wait for it to go higher. But at this moment, it's going to build up. I'm telling you. Because I'm so used to how SPY sets itself up now. I know the trickery behind it. I know on what it's going to do before a major economics data come out, before a major earnings data. I know the tricks that they do now. Like the day before a major earnings come out or a major data come out, economic data come out, they'll normally drop it on purpose. They'll drop it on purpose the day before, setting up a bear trap to push it right back on up. Because if you don't believe me, look what happened with the CPI data. Tell me I'm lying. CPI data they did that for Jerome Powell they did that for when he did that testimony. And what you think they trying to set up? What you think they trying to set up for now? What's next week? FOMC meeting, right? So if you can go ahead and get as low as possible to those areas where those buyers can move in and hold that area, you have the capability to move right back on up to strong areas. Especially with the FOMC meeting coming out, we can definitely see a blast back up. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just going by on how everything is setting up on this chart. Because the chart is telling me everything I need to know.
Gang rate says. And the earning did same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Nvidia did the same. It did. It did. I think that was right here. It was one of them. No, it was either here or here. Because I think it was around 505 when that Nvidia came out. And that bad boy spiked like crazy. It was either this one when Nvidia came out and it spiked. Or it was this one. It was one of the two. Because I do remember that. I definitely remember that. It might have been this one. Because I know it went on that strong. Yeah, I think it was this one. Because they dropped down, and as soon as the video came out, boom, right back on up. So I'm telling you, they setting it up for the FOMC meeting for next week. I'm telling you guys, if you don't believe me, I've been pretty accurate on my alerts so far. Y'all know this. I've been pretty accurate on my alerts. So
Shoutout gang rate says. 495 call print nice. Next day.
oh yeah, man, that bad boy went running. So again, what do you think they're trying to set up for now? What's around the corner? FOMC meeting. Think about it. So you're already trying to flush out all your puts. You know, buyers about to trying to step back in. Look what I told you. Look at that. Look at that movement. I told you it's gonna blast through that 13 EMA, Marty. I told you because I know the trick. I know what they're doing. Dude, I'm telling you. I know exactly what they're doing. I know the setups now because I done dealt with SPY for so long. I know when they're about to set up something, you know, and I know when the market is pretty much gonna shift. I'm used to it now. You know, I'm not trying to say I'm a know-it-all. No, I just done my work. I done my homework. I mean, again, when everybody's off the market, is when the bell ring and y'all, watching y'all Netflix and chilling and everything else, which is nothing wrong with that. And you spending time with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case. Dude, I'm locked in on my computer. I'm locked in studying because I'm trying to understand things to help me. Because now, by doing that, I'm not afraid to trade. It's like I know when to get in. I know when to get out. I know what could possibly happen. And that's all I do.
512.
Yeah, we're going to see 512. Of course we're going to see 512. I told y'all that. I told y'all we're going to see 512 because you bouncing. I told y'all this. I don't know why y'all don't believe me. It's like I repeat this over and over, and it's like it going one end out the other. It's like, not y'all, but I'm just saying some of the ones that just like, that think that I don't know what I'm talking about. If I don't know what I'm talking about, everything that I've been alerting, how has it been happening? I don't control the market. Think about it. I do not control the market. But everything I've been alerting been happening, right? When we went on that drop, what did I tell you? Age pattern. When we came all the way down towards this trend line, what I told you might happen, bounce back on up. Again, you ain't gotta believe me. I mean, that's your account. I mean, I'm profiting. So it's all that matters to me. I'm profiting. I mean, at least I have the decency to spread that information out to y'all. At least I'm not being selfish and holding it to myself. I mean, I already know you my ride or die, Marty. You already know this. You my right hand man. I'm talking about these other ones that, they may not believe me or whatever. But again, how are my accuracy how are my alerts so accurate then? Can you explain that? If I don't put in the work, I don't put in the time to study and understand this, because what I told y'all could happen after this drop. What did I tell y'all? You get around this green line, buyers are going to move in. The buying pressure that went up from 510 damn near up to 512. Don't you think that's going to lead to a nice upper shadow for a possible move back on up? Don't you see this long wick? And if you close above 512, where do you think it's going to go? Come on now. Dude, it's just common sense. Like, it's right there in your face. It's right there. I told y'all what's going to happen. It's shifting over. Don't go for a put. I'm telling you, don't do it. I mean, if you do, it's short-lived. In and out, but don't hold that long term. I'm telling you, because look at the buying pressure. Again, after this drop from 510, damn near going up to 512. And that's going to be another long upper shadow that can possibly turn into something like this. Look at this. Look what happened. When the same time it looked like it dropped, it looked almost like the same exact thing. See that? It almost looked identical. When it fell all the way down, and look what that buy pressure did to that candle to the point it made a doji for a reversal setup. Look at this. What you think is gonna probably happen to this after those bulls reclaim 12? It's gonna make the body of that candle do this, do this, do this, which is gonna signal a possible doji. So if we do get a strong push back on up and that candle closes back on up this way, it's gonna look like this. And what is that? That's a doji. What is a doji? It indicates a reversal. So you see that as that red candle came down and it tried to fall and those bears tried to push underneath 510, what happened? Buyers came in, closed that body, which it looks like a cross, which is a doji, that indicates a reversal. So if they can push all the way back up to 512, close 512, get that body as small as possible, even if you do end up red still. Understand that wick, understand that buying pressure on that candle, because what's going to happen with the next candle? That means that next candle can gap up. So that's what you have to think about. If they can close above 512 before that next candle come in, the next candle is going to open on top of 512. Meaning now 512 is going to be support for a movement back on up. That's it. So keep it on watch around at 512 because now you done rotated for off that pivot of 510. Because you remember I told you, you stay on top of 510, it benefits the bulls. You can move on up from 510 to 512. I told y'all this. So as you can see, where we at? 50 cents away from where? 512. If we close above 512, what's going to happen to this candle? It's going to close on top. Then your next candle come in, it's going to open on top of 512 for the push back this way, which is going to cause a red to green. So I'm only telling y'all things to help y'all out, man. So don't think I'm telling you things to hurt y'all, or I think I'm a know-it-all. No, I put in the time to study, to make sure I give y'all the right information, to make sure that y'all go about it the right way. Hell, Jerhoff just made money off of an H pattern that I put out. I can't make this up. He just made money. I didn't make the money for him. He did it because he had belief and faith in himself. You know, I didn't force Jerhoff to do anything. He listened and he listened, and again, he had a game plan, a trading plan, and he benefited from it off of a H pattern that I called out right here. He got in, and what happened? We came on down, and he made a profit. So right now, you don't see the, I mean, look at this bounce from this drop. You can tell who's moving back on in. Look at the candles. You have way more green volatility than you have red. So you're having a strong movement back on up. So it's going to be harder to short now because now, you know, you trying to short. Look at these small opportunities now. Look at this. When you was on this side, you had short opportunities on a call because your sellers were in control. You see that? You had way more red candles and small opportunities for calls, right? Now that you're reversing, now you can see you're going from red to green where you have now more green candles versus red candles. You see the shift? You notice the shift right here? Again, when you was on this side, you have more sellers. Now you're on this side, you have more buyers. Look at the candle colors. Look at the opportunities. Look at opportunities of calls on this side, and look at opportunities of puts on this side. See these small windows now that you have? You no longer have red solid candles anymore like we had on this side. What do we have now? Green candles. So now you have small windows of opportunity to get in on puts and more opportunities on calls as we're pushing back this way. So just keep that in mind. Keep it in mind, team. Keep it in mind. Your pivot point is holding on the upside for the bulls. Again, it's working in the bulls' favor because you're holding above the 510 instead of underneath 510. So that means that is holding up as support. Now you are in a pivot point in an upper channel of 512, 510. So that means that 512 breaks and runs up. Now you have to move your pivot up. Now you have to move your pivot to 512 because now 512 is going to be a pivot point for 514 back down to 510. So we break out and hold above 512, and 512 runs up to 514, now this area moves up here to 512 where we put that yellow, put 514 red and 510 green because now we'll be in this channel, if you notice that. But if you notice, what's another thing that y'all forgot about? What's one thing that y'all forgot about? Well, let me see if Marty, because Marty normally always catches on to everything. Let me see if Marty gonna catch it. So Marty, I know we had 510 as the pivot point, but think about it. What could it be possibly be doing? If that momentum continues to go back on up, boss, what could it be doing? I'm looking right at it. If that momentum is there, what could it be actually doing? Yeah, it's doing a red to green, but it's something else you're missing. Not just U shape. Let's start with an R. Not red to green. I'm gonna spell out another letter. O. You want me to put out another letter? T. You want me to just say it? You want me to just say it? Or y'all know what I'm talking about before I say it? Because even though we went on this drop, y'all forgot. What was your old pivot point? Oh, I'm sorry, Marty. I'm sorry. Hey, shout out to you and your beautiful wife, boss. Shout out to you and your wife. But you forgot about the old 14 pivot point. Remember, you get away from that 514, you may return back to it. Especially if that volume is there, you'll go back to the old pivot point. So I'm definitely keeping that on mind that we could definitely move back up to 514, which it'll return back to the old pivot point. So you see right here where you fell from your old pivot point down to 510, and if that volume is still there, what can you return back to? Think about it. That'll put you back in 512 channel, 514, 516. Because that takes you, remember we fell out of this channel, which you already know that's a channel play, channel magnet that can easily put you back in that channel all over again of 512, 514, 516 when you're then again rotate around 514 between 512 to 516. So you got to think about it. You got the channel magnet. We fell out of that channel. We can possibly return back into this channel again, 512, 514, 516, where you can rotate around 514 all over again until we either move on up or come back on down. So that is a possibility where you can rotate right back up to 514 like a magnet. Because anytime you leave 514, what happens? You return back to 514. So that is a possibility. That momentum is still pushing. You break up 512, you can run right back up to 514, put you back in.
120 next week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and then what's going to help with that, boss, is especially if you get back into that channel of 512, 514, 516, because 512 will be support, 514 will be your pivot, 516 will be your top. So you can get back on top of 514. You have the capability to run to 516. You break 516, you run up to 518. You go from 518, then the next area, intended target, is 520. So that momentum can still hold for today, and we get back up until 512. It's going to put you back in the old channel that we were once in. As you can see, let's go back. See that? It's going to put you, and you notice how it rotated out of that channel on the upside and even the downside. So you see that rotation? You see that whole rotation? See that? You rotated out of the channel, back into this channel, out of this channel, back into the channel possibly. If you can get back up to 512, it's going to put you right back in this channel. So, again, all you need your buy is to push back in 512, hold 512, put you right back into this old channel all over again with 514 becoming your pivot point. So, that's all I'm watching. I'm just watching to see if we get back into that channel. Let's say we get back above 512, back into this old channel until next week. So I'm definitely keeping on watch. Where 514 again turn back into your pivot point. Because anytime you always leave away from 514, you return back to 514. You leave from 514, you return back to 514. You leave from 514, again, if that momentum is there, you're 9 times out of 10, you're going to push right back into that 514. Because it's like a magnet. Testing the uptrend line right now. Yeah, because like I said, you'll get some little pullbacks, but again, look at the amount of candles we have. I mean, you still have way more. You still have buyers in control right now. So I'm still going to keep this on watch. 510 is still holding. 510 is still holding. You're above the VWAP. That's one. See, the main thing what we have to do, you have to get above that 50. See where my indicator is at? So as everything starts to curl, you need to squeeze between that 50 and you need to see a crossover that 9 and 20. So if we can see a crossover where that 50 goes back down to the bottom, then we can see a crossover. And, basically a move back on up. But right now, the 50 is still in the overhead. It's over your head right now. So we definitely need to break this 50, because that's what's holding you back too. That 50 is also holding you back. So I'm still gonna stay positive. I still think we're gonna move back, move on up. So I'm not gonna doubt that. Yeah, just gonna have to take some time. I mean, you are getting tight and tight into like somewhat of a squeeze almost. You see the space between the 50 and the 9? You are getting into a tighter squeeze. So I definitely want to see exactly which way we go. I mean, your VWAP, your above the VWAP is almost kind of like this. Kind of like, okay, if you put these indicators together, this is what it looks like. So we do this, where my line? You'll have a squeeze right here at the 50, and with the VWAP included. You'll have something like this. So you see that? You got all your indicators, your VWAP, 29, 50, all coming together. So it's going to break out either which way. So I want to keep my eyes peeled. So it's making somewhat of a squeeze to see which way we're going to actually go. I still think we'll see some upside, though. I ain't going to lie to you. So I'm still keeping on watch. Still keeping on watch. Because we could be we could see a W. A possible W pattern. It looks like it. When you kind of do this, and then up, it could set up for a W pattern. I mean, like I said, I ain't gonna think too far ahead, but I'm just looking at the possibilities, what could be, until I see it happen, then I mean for sure. But I mean, you could possibly see somewhat of a W pattern. So if you do this, kind of like here, 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 I could see something like that happening, possibly. I'm gonna keep it on watch though. Definitely gonna keep it on watch. Cause again, I mean that trend line is holding. So once they gave me a signal that that's holding, then I know for sure that it's only so much lower SPY can go as long as you stay above that area. So that's why I'm kind of like leaning still more towards the call side, because even if you do pull back, I mean, the lowest is what, 510-ish that you could come back down to, around 510. Because they're going to try to, I'm telling you, buyers going to try to secure that 510 area. Because again, there's only so much lower you can go before they try to set up these bad traps. So that's why I'm going to keep it on watch. Because where we're at right now, 510, just like I called it. So 510. I'm telling you, they're going to set up some more traps. So right now it's 11:05, guys. I got one more hour with y'all because you already know it's half a day Friday. So see what we got going on. One more hour. Let's see what's going to happen, for 12 o'clock. So I'm definitely going to keep this on watch. Keep this on watch. So I'm just definitely, like I said, the VWAP is holding. Your 9 is on top of what you need. See, and the good thing about the 9 is you already crossed over the 20, so that's good. So that's why I'm thinking it's going to be more positive, because normally when you're getting more weakness, your 9 is always to the bottom of everything. Everything else is underneath the 50, the 20, even the VWAP. But if you notice, now your 9 has crossed over the 20 on top now, putting it in the middle. So all that 9 would need to do now is cross over that 50 and go this way. So that's another reason why I'm just keep my eyes peeled to see exactly what's going to take place. So, I mean, again, all you got to do is just wait for the setups. I mean, again, even though we're getting these little small candles, we're getting these little up and down, choppiness, focus on the channel. Focus on 512, 510, 508. Just focus on those prices. 510 is your pivot point. You're on top of the pivot point. So that means when you're on top, it's in the bull's favor. When you're underneath it, it's in the bear's favor. So, again, to avoid all the choppiness, because I know a lot of people, they don't have the time, they look more at the candles than they do the prices. So the first thing to do, again, focus on your numbers. Where are we channeling at? Where are we chopping up at? Between 512, 510, 508. That's it. 510 is your pivot point. You have to, again, you hold above 510. You have the possible movement on up to 512. Underneath 510, you have the possible movement on down to 508. That's it. That's all you do. Just focus on the pivot points and don't get lost in the choppiness and and just watching candles. Watch the prices. Where are we at? Where are we pulling back to? I mean, you always gotta watch and look for the setups first. Cause all it's doing right now is just setting itself up right now. It's just setting up. I mean, it's not a lot of volume right now because you don't see a lot of movement. It's just kind of it's slowly just doing this. So don't get caught in that. Wait for volume to kick back in. Just wait on the setups to take place. Wait for the setups to present themselves, and then go from there. I mean, I called out as much as I could. I mean, again, we bounced off that green trend line, so that area is holding between this 510, 508 level underneath. That's where your buys are located. So again, just keep that on watch. Just see where we go from there. Put it like this: in order for the bears to convince us that we're going on a further downside, we need to get back underneath 510 because now 510 will be in the bears' favor. Stay underneath 510, and then you push back down to 508. As of now, I mean, it's holding up above. Again, if you want puts or you want to go in for, if you're leaning more towards the bearish side, it needs to crack 510 and stay underneath 510 and move back on down. It needs to break this low area, create a new low, convince us that, okay, we are going to lower areas. But the main thing is 510. You get under 510, now you're back in the bears territory. Once you get underneath 510, how much lower can we go from that point? You do have room to fall back down to 508, 508.50 to 508. You do have room to fall back down there. It's kind of like an ugly H. I was about to say it could be making another H, but that's ugly as hell. Like a bigger H, kind of like a bigger H pattern. It's kind of a little off about it. It's hard to predict that one. Because it's like, it could make a bigger, like, somewhat of a bigger H pattern when it does this and actually come back on down. It could do that. It most definitely could. That's a huge H pattern. God, if I look at it from that standpoint. Because what did we not break above? 511.50. 511.50. So if I go back, did that cause us any problems before 511.50 where we did get rejected from that area? Right here. 511.50 fell. 511.50 fell. I'm trying to see how powerful 511.50 is because, I mean, we stay stuck underneath that. What was this? 511. No, it's 512 here. I don't really see. I mean, that's the only thing that's holding us back. I mean, that we fought and that we getting rejected underneath this around that 511.50 mark. We do have a long upper shadow. I'm just watching this area. Could this be like a top area? Where we can see a bigger H pattern maybe? Let's see. Trying to figure something out real quick. So if we was to do this, all right, we bounce, right? Bounce. See, if we hold on to that 511.50, that's gonna be key. We can definitely still move back on down to 510 to back down to 508. That could happen if we can't break 511.50. Because right here you're getting stuffed. So definitely you can't break that. That can definitely cause an arch to form where you could come back on down. I'm still keeping it on watch though. I'm gonna keep it on watch because I want to see if this is gonna break that key level right here where you got rejected at. We had this long upper shadow. Because you went up as high as around 508.50 to 508 what? I mean, 511, what was the high? 511.20. Can't be that high. That's the wrong high. Oh, 70. So, still going to round it. So, 508.50. If we can't break this line, break above this area, that can definitely create an H pattern where you get stuffed and you actually start to come back down to 510, test 510, crack 510, back down to 508. That can happen still. Because, a lot of your companies are in the red versus NVIDIA and Tesla and them. But, could we see a possible H pattern? We could. Because we got that long candle. We got that long candle. Don't get me wrong. We got that long candle here. And you are getting stuffed around 1150 where you could arc and actually come back down to 510. I mean, that is a possibility. I mean, don't make me lie on that. I mean, that could happen. There's two different ways this bad boy can go. Because either we can see an H, where you do get a next leg on down from 510 to 508, or you can get this W pattern because those bears can't pull down 1110, and you start to go back this way like a red to green. So this 1050 is gonna be important. That's all I'm gonna say. 1050 is it's gonna be very important on both ends. I put it like that because again, if we do get an H pattern, you'll have to crack 510 to go down to 508. However, if they can't break 510, then it'll work in the bull's favor for an actual W back on up for a red to green. So this 510 is definitely dead. This 510 is definitely an important factor right now. Definitely important right now because we still haven't broken above 51150. We still haven't touched this area where we got rejected. We still haven't hit that yet. So that's still weak at this moment. And we back down, see 510. So that is a possibility. So what would it be after 51150? It'd be 511. So if that, let me see. Cause see, you lost 51150, right? So the next area would be 511 because you're losing 50 cents, kind of like we did yesterday. And then you start to go back down this way. Wait a minute. Wait a second. I mean, if you set up this downtrend, something like that, that is a possibility. You can start H shaping if this is gonna be tough. I mean, I do still see it like almost like a. It is an H. I think it is an H. Holy crap! I do see it. Let me see if that's gonna work. I think that is an H right there. But it's kind of look like a lightning bolt almost. It's kind of like this, something like this. I can see it. I can see that pattern. That's exactly what it's doing. I think that's what it's doing. So we are going probably back down to 510. I do see it now. Let's see. I'm gonna keep it on watch though. I'm definitely keeping it on watch because again, if it's going down like about 50 cents, because you already lost 1150, then you pretty much lost 11. So 50 cents down from that is 1050. Back on down to 510. I do see. Okay. So it does look like an H pattern trying to form. But again, in order to secure that, we have to crack 510 and stay underneath 510. Like I said, however, if we don't crack 510, those buyers can still use 510 for support and move back on up, which it makes a W instead. That's why I'm like, we definitely need confirmation from this 510 level if you're going in on a put side. Because if that's the case, then we need to crack 510, stay underneath 510, then create another lower leg on down to 508. So that's the only way to figure that out. But I mean, still on top of 510. That's the only reason why I'm just still kind of watching. Because we got, again, for the sellers, we definitely got to get rid of 510. 510 has to go. It's going to be a little tough, man. I'm just sitting there trying to figure it out. It's a little, I mean, I'm just watching it. Because it can work on both ends is what I mean. It can work in both favors. And it's all due to that 510 mark. Oh, sorry about that, boss. I had to put my chat back on it. Because it always keep disappearing. I hate when they do that. Let me see. Because like I said, you got to think about it, Gert, Martin. Because like I said, you hold 510, it can actually make a W on up for red to green. However, if we crack 510, it can lead to another H for a leg on down. So that's why I'm just trying to figure out this 510 level. So it can work in both parties. It can work for the Bulls and the Bears. Again, as long as you hold above it, it works in the bull's favor. If you can crack it, it works in the bear's favor because you'll go down to a lower key level. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Oh, boy. Let's see. You see what I mean? Because it looks like it can make a W if 5-10 holds for the bulls to go back on up. However, if we crack that, it can make somewhat of an H pattern when you crack 5-10 and then go down, back, create another leg. But right now it's holding. So that's why I can't really make that judgment call just yet, because I'm like, it's holding. I mean, I can't do it just yet. It's on top of the VWAP. Well, yeah, it's holding on top right now, because I got to put everything in. I got to factor everything. I have to factor the VWAP, 5-10 support, VWAP support, you're still on top of VWAP. That's why I'm trying to watch and see what happens with these indicators. See how they're getting closer and closer? I definitely want to see exactly what's going to happen to see on how well this is going to play out. Because I know it's a little tough to call right now because you got your 9MA and your 20 lining up together because no more gaps in between. All right, don't see. Now that's creating that. All right, because once they get together, it makes it more of a powerful move. So, okay, now those two together. So it is starting to pull down a little bit. Okay. Looking, all right, still pointing down. All right. So we are, man, so they might be making that H. I knew one of them going to happen. I was like, we either going to get an H pattern when we come back down to 5-10. I knew something was going to happen. Because I'm like, I see the H. Like, you still want to make another H on down. Looks like we may want to U-shape at the VY. But it looks like, at the same time, Gert, it looked like an H pattern. It looks like an H, like he wants to, like a leg on down. But like I said, in order to avoid that, those buyers are going to have to protect 5-10 and move it back on up. You lose 5-10, that H is going to ensue. It's going to go from 5-10 for the next leg on down. I can see that. See that downtrend that we're in right now? That's why I was trying to put 2 and 2 together. That's why I was trying to look at it from both sides of the fence. So I can definitely still see this downtrend happening here. I can definitely see that H pattern as well, where you kind of have this little H and you come down to that next level underneath 5-10. That's why I had to look at it from both sides. I had to look at it from a bull side and a bear side. And it's all dealing with 5-10. You hold 5-10, you can make a W back on up. You crack 5-10, you can make a H on down. And it kind of looks like this little light. It gives you like this little lightning bolt look. Kind of like this. Because if you're on the upside, you get the N on up. When you have a big green candle, then a small red candle, almost like a N when you go up. It's almost the same way, but in reverse. So instead of an N going up, you have that move. You have a backwards N, like an upside down N, kind of going the other way, kind of going this way on down, like a lightning bolt. So that's why I was trying to look at that pattern, because I seen this, and this. Because again, let me show you, for example, what I mean. So come on, where's it at? Okay, this is what I mean real quick why this is happening. All right, so when you're on the green side, right, you're normally, let me get my color pen real quick. Color pen. All right, customize. Let me go to green. Hurry. All right, now normally when you're on the upside, right, you normally would do this. You normally do this. I'm gonna put it halfway, something like this, and you'll normally do this. All right. See, this is what happens. You see, normally if you go on the upside, you'll normally have that nice candle, green candle up, and you have a small pullback, and then that a powerful another move back on up like a bear flag, and it gives you kind of like an end pattern. However, on the downside, you'll have a nice red candle. Put it like this. It's just in reverse. So it'll be something like this. That's why I was looking at that pattern closely. You have something like this when you come down, up, kind of like a lightning bolt. So that's what I was trying to figure out. See what I mean? See how that drawing look almost exactly like that picture I just drew? It looked like a lightning bolt. See that? So I was like, when you get the downside, you get kind of like that upside down, like that backwards in, but get on the downside. So I was noticing that. That's why I said it looked like an H wants to form. It definitely looked like an H wants to form on the downside. That's why sometimes you got to sit back instead of getting caught in the choppiness, pay attention to the pattern setup. That's why when I look, it looked like an H pattern wants to form, almost giving you like a lightning bolt formation. And when I seen that, I say it looks exactly like that on for for the downside. So I definitely see that taking place where you do like a lightning bolt. Because normally if you're on the upside, you'll get an N on up. But if you go on the downside, you'll get that lightning bolt on down. You get like a lightning. It looks like a lightning bolt. Appreciate you, Alex Vaughn. Appreciate you, boss. Appreciate you. Yeah, see that mean? You see how it looks on the downside, it looks like a lightning bolt? See that? But then when you're on the upside, it looks like an N. Because you get a green, red, green. So you get an N shape when you're on the upside. And then when you're on the downside, you get that backwards N when it looks like a lightning bolt on down. So that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like a little lightning bolt going this way where you crack 510 to a lower level. So that lightning bolt does seem to be taking effect at this moment. I'm going to keep it on watch, but that 510 is going to play a crucial part. So I'm keeping on watch because, again, you definitely have to, for the put side, you definitely have to crack that 510 for that move on down. See, I'm just watching these buyers because I see that strong, this strong buying pressure right at 510. That's why I'm just keep my eyes peeled to see if it ain't going to try to be like like a setup, like a bear trap. So that's why I'm just watching that 510 very, very cautiously. Because I'm trying to see, because you would definitely need those bears to move in hard. You would need them to come in as hard as they can, crack that 510 without, basically trying to avoid the buying pressure to come in and turn that candle green and go back on up. That's why I'm just watching closely. Close. Keep my eyes peeled to see if this is not a bear trap, potential bear trap that could possibly form. That's why I want to see. Because right now we're at a crucial area where buyers should be moving in. You see, you would need to have is a strong red candle. Something like this. You would need something powerful. To the point is, it will scare the crap out of those buyers. Because when you got something small like this, it makes it tough. Because it's like that volume is just like this. We definitely need to have a strong red candle pulling down. Because again, if you look at that drawing I just showed you, that's what it would normally lead to. Because once you go on that little bounce, then you lead to another long red. So it's like you'll take that size here and then move it this way. So you'll take that and then put it this way on down. That's all you will be doing. So that size of this candle, just take that size and put it this way. So you have a long candle down here, then a bounce, then another long candle coming in. So that's what normally would need to happen. But right now it's just bouncing on top of 510. That's why I'm just watching carefully to see if there's not like a potential bear trap where those buyers are sitting at. That's why I'm just watching. I'm watching carefully. Because you got to think about it. You're still on top of 510. It's still considered support at the moment until you crack it. So it's still considered bull's territory because you're on top of it. So that's why I'm watching carefully just to see if those bears going to really pull it or if those bulls are just sitting right there to trap them. So that's why I'm watching very, very carefully right here, this pivot. Because a lot of people might be getting excited jumping in right now, thinking it's about to fall, and then your buyers will move in and squeeze you right out of it. So that's why I'm watching very, very, very carefully. See how it's switching back and forth? And that's why I'm watching it. You gotta look very close. Like I said, bears can still step in, but there's also an area where those bulls can move in too and trap those bears and go on a bear trap. So I'm definitely watching this bad boy. Let me see. Did the contracts move up even with the those puts? Where we at right now? As far as the contracts, where we at right now? Still at 4.1 million. Damn, those calls are going down though. And in the money, man, you down like 98,000. Yeah, them calls then. God dang. Out of the money, you got 528,000. But man, because you remember at one point. Watch me go to it. Yeah, because y'all remember at one point we had what, 909,000 in the money calls? Now you're down to 98,000 in the money versus 4.1 million that's still sitting here on the out of the money puts. Now the in the money went down, but the out of the money still sitting at 4.1 million, and then your in the money on calls definitely went down from 900 to 9,000. Now down to 98,000. Cause watch, I think I took a screenshot when we was up on that on the 15 expiration contract. So right now you're 98,000. What was that last screenshot I had? Where we were at last time? We were at where? Yep. So look how it changed. See that? I told you. Look where we at. You remember? In the money on the 15th, we had 859,000 in the money calls. Look where we're at right now. 98,000. 98,000. Man, that is a hell of a change on that one. So that meaning that those puts are still heavy in some cases. The puts are still heavy. So God, I didn't realize, man, that's why something told me to check that, because I was like, let me see where we're sitting at now. I mean, damn, you went from 800,000 in the money calls, now down to like 98. So they must have been taking all their profits as he was just bouncing back on up. So that's insane. So that's why I'm watching. That's why I'm definitely watching to see. Keep my eyes peeled on this. Because do remember, you got 4.1 million contracts still expiring today at 4 o'clock. So that's why I'm like, it's going to be interesting to see what is really going to take place as we get closer and closer and closer towards that closing time. Because you got to think about it. As we get closer and closer to 4 o'clock, that time decay is just doom on 4.1 million contracts that's still active right now. Cool, man. Monday, I will be focusing on some big penny stock trades. I'm getting very tired of the market basically making its main move during I know, boss, you not lying. Oh, that drives me crazy. Man, I thought I was the only one that was complaining about that. I'm like, why are all the best moves happening in after hours of pre-market and we get like a crumb of that in intraday? Oh, that makes me sick. I thought I was the only one complaining about that. Man, it does get on my nerves. That's why what I started to figure out, I started to do to get in on the best areas. I got 30 minutes left, team. Definitely hit me up. Let me know what we got. Any questions, comments, or concerns. I will be doing my trades talk. I was about to say. I will be doing my trades talk tomorrow, Saturday, for my members. I do have a picture of it. What did I do with it? Where you at? So I will be breaking down video lessons starting tomorrow. If I can find the picture, where is that? Why I lost 500 yesterday due to chasing almost happened again. I need to stop. Dex point is spot on. Gert, what did you? Okay, yesterday. I can help you with it. Okay, did you go for a call or a put? Like, what did you try to do? Yeah, so tomorrow, team, well, for my members, I will be doing my first video lesson breakdown tomorrow on the 16th. That goes out to my Patreon and my YouTube members. So I will be doing video lessons starting tomorrow. For those who are watching, I will be getting into that. So again, join my Patreon and join my YouTube membership so y'all can be a part of the breakdowns of the videos. We can discuss things one-on-one. You know, if you need to take a deeper look into something like that, we'll do further breakdowns. So that's what that consists of. So we'll be working on that tomorrow, and I will be busy. I'm waiting on him to respond. So y'all can understand on why I barely lose. I still take losses, but I put myself, let me see, I was in a call yesterday. Let's see what your problem was. Let's see what the problem was. What was the problem? Let's go back. Let's go back even further. Let's see. I'm trying to help you solve that. 518 for sure. Well, you already know 518. I mean, it already had hit resistance. So, I mean, of course, it was going to fall from that area. So, I mean, we didn't hit that resistance mark last Friday's high. So that caused those puts to move in because you hit that area that we was anticipating to break, but we hit that during pre-market, not in intraday. So if you notice, we hit and then we just started to downtrend from that point. So therefore, if you notice, all you had to do, if anything, boss, was set up a trend line where you got watch your price points. Because you remember what I told you. If you pay close attention to your price points, put yourself in a channel. Because around that time, what was our pivot point? Our pivot point was around 516. Remember, we was in that channel at one point of 514, 516, 518. But once we lost 518, we lost 516. The next area was 514. So that's when you broke off of 514 and we lost that area, and then came and we had that flush back on down. That was that was yesterday. So we had that flush, and I think I had called out 512.50. Yeah, because that's when I was trying to get in on that bounce. So yeah, we lost. You remember we came out of the channel 518, 516, 514, right? So we lost these two. You remember that's when I told y'all to focus down here from 514, 512. I'm sorry, 516, 514, 512. And that's when I set up that channel here, because you had a top 516, you had a middle 514, and you had a bottom 512. Because you remember I told you your pivot had changed because you had lost 18 and 16. So you had to move your pivot down and your channel down. So yesterday, your channel became 16, 14, 12. So you had a pivot of going back up to your 516, and you had a pivot to going back down to 512. So where did we go to? Where did we pivot? 512. Then we came back up to the pivot of 514. Same thing here going into today. We ran back on up to 514. We lost 514, came down to 512 to 510 to 508. Because what you do is you move your pivot on down. So this is when I put my pivot down to 510, because now we are in a channel of 512, 510, 508. All you're doing is moving your channels up and down, just depending on the direction that we're going. You change your pivots, you change your channel. So when I seen this drop coming, all I did as the drop was happening, I didn't guess anything. I was like, okay, what price points are we losing? As this drop was happening, I already knew we lost 514. I already knew we lost 512. Remember, you have to go by twos. Where did we bounce? 510, right? So all you do is just take those price points. Okay, we came down to 510. What did we lose? 512. What do we need to break to get back to the upside? 512. So therefore, we know that's resistance. If you go by twos, okay, if you break 510, what is next underneath that? 508. So therefore, resistance, pivot, support. How far did we come down? On down to almost to the 508. So right now, as for us today, you are in a pivot motion. You are in an. It looks like it wants to fall again. I mean, it looks like an H pattern setting up. You can see it right here. I mean, you can definitely see it on this 15-minute time frame. I can see it. See that? Look, pay close attention. Look, Gert, what do you think it's trying? What do you think it might do? It might do if we don't hold that 510. Look at this. I mean, you can see it with your own eyes. Look, if we do, dang it, where's my drawing? Where you at, god dog? There you go. See this? Boom. Possible. Next leg on down. I mean, you can clearly see that. But I mean, all you gotta do is pay close attention to the patterns. I mean, again, like I said, your pivot point is 510. Your upper portion is 512 because we haven't broken 512. That's your resistance. You have an area, so your support level would be the 508 because again, the way SPY moves, SPY normally moves in $2 increments. So if you pivot 510, you have $2 up to 512, and you have $2 down to 508. Because look how it reacted. You have $2, possible $2 move up. Look where it ran up to, close to 512. Look where it ran on the downside, close to 508. So it's letting you know that it normally moves in $2 ranges, and it normally moves by even numbers. So again, once you find your pivot of 510, $2 up, 512, $2 down, 508, until you either break back above 512 or you crack down 508. So all you do is just play off of this channel right now. You play off of the pivot. Again, that can easily move up to 512. That can easily come down to 508. All you're doing is playing off this channel until the market either goes back on up or we come down to a newer lower level. So as of now, You already got confirmation from this long upper shadow, this long red candle, and it does look like an H because you are getting stuffed at 511. So you can see right here that it does look like an H pattern set itself up for another leg on down. So it's going to seem like it's going to test 510 and for a possible crack of 510 down to 508. So that does look like it's setting itself up to do that. So I mean that's all you do, boss. Once you just look at you start to getting certain patterns. Well, before the patterns, understand the price points, understand your price levels. Okay, where is it moving around at? What did we? Okay, we do catch a drop. What did we lose today? What did we lose? 514. We lost 512 because now we know those areas are now resistance is now above your head. So, okay, what is the area that it bounced at? Right? It bounced around 510. Okay, what is the nearest thing closest to 510 above your head? 512. Where is the nearest thing closest to 512 or 510 on the downside? Because you gotta go by twos. 508. That's all you do. That's all you do. Now you can. That's why once we hit up here, I went in for a kill. I went in for a quick put because I understood my patterns, I understood my price levels, and that's how I did it. That's how it was so easy. That's how I made it so easy for me to get into a trade and get out of a trade. I made money. I made a quick profit like that. And look, testing that 510. That can go on the next leg down. See that? All you do is pay attention to the patterns. I didn't guess anything. Once it makes a certain pattern, I can follow it. 511 is holding up as resistance, and I see this pattern, this whole entire pattern. Okay, what comes next for H to fully form? You have to have that hump. You have to have that arch, right? Where's your arch? 511. So if you get in entries around 511, ride that bad boy back on down. Ride it down to 510 because now it's showing weakness. Boom. What could we possibly happen? Break crack 510, go down to 508. Your entry is all the way at 511. But yeah, that's the easiest way to do it, boss. Easiest way to get into your entries. Easiest way to understand the direction of today's market. Whether we're seeing some downside, whether we're seeing some upside, anything of that nature. So therefore, so far, okay, we still have strong buying pressure. Strong selling pressure because as we looked at that the option chain summary, you done lost all your calls because you remember at one point we was at what 900 almost 909,000 in the money calls. We lost that, so now we're only down to 89,000 versus still 4.1 million puts. So as of now, I mean that put weight is heavy as hell versus your call side. So you got a heavy put weight at this moment until those puts are forced out of their contracts because again they expire today. So majority of those contracts, if it's still showing 4.1 million, that means majority of those are PM contracts. And when does PM contracts expire? After the market close. So they're still right now they're in control. Put it like this. Right now they're definitely in control. But watch what happened as you get closer towards the market ending. Because you gotta think about how many contracts will be expiring after the market close on the 15th. So that means that is 4.1 million contracts that will be expiring. So right now they're coming in heavy. Yeah, of course. Because a lot of them trying to get in as much as they can because again, their contracts are expiring today. So yeah, they're heavy now, but watch as we get close from power hour into the market close and watch on what's going to happen. Watch the reaction on that. Because again, that is 4.1 million contracts expiring on the puts today. So again, yeah, just keep watching it. But watch what happens as we get closer and closer to power hour and to the market close. As those contracts are expiring, as that time decay is eating up those contracts. So definitely watch and see. Because how long can they go? Yeah, they can go. They can definitely keep going right now because their contracts are still in motion, are still valid right now. But as they get closer and closer and closer towards the market close, that time decay kicks in, then we'll see where it go from there. So yeah, give it some time. Yeah, definitely give it some time right now. Because their contract hasn't expired just yet. They still have time all the way to the market close. But as we get closer and closer to the power hour and the market close, again, they also have to understand the theta, the delta, everything starts to do this. Because you got buyers. Think about it. If you a buyer, would you want to buy an expired contract? So what's going to have to happen? if those puts are still holding contracts, they're gonna have to sell it because they're gonna have to sell it to buyers that's willing to take an expired contract on that day. Because if not, they're gonna be stuck with that contract until their broker gets them out of it. So that's why I said just keep it on watch for right now. Definitely keep it on watch. I mean, puts are definitely in control because the volume is still there. They got buyers there still willing to take an expired contract, all the way to the market close. So that's still going to be happening. That's still definitely going to be happening. But watch closely, Gert, as power hour hit, close to 4 o'clock hitting, as that time decay kicks in, as those buyers are not willing to buy expired contracts. What are those sellers going to have to do? They're going to have to get rid of them. So just keep on watch. I know, yeah, definitely, yeah. Well, you gotta think about it too. The close, but you have to think about it too, boss. Well, the close happened because you touched that trend line, and also again, the ones that was holding their contracts, their contracts didn't expire yesterday. Their contracts expires today. So yeah, of course, they were still gonna hold on to it. So again, all the way to today because that's when the contracts expire is today. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they gonna come in hard because they're gonna try to sell those contracts, man. They're gonna try to get rid of those contracts as much as possible. But again, keep it on watch from power hour to close to the market in closing, and watch to see what happens. Because you got to think about it. That is 4.1 million contracts with expiring contract. I mean, that's gonna expire, and buyers that don't want to buy an expired contract. Because the closer and closer you get to that expiration date, as far as the timing out, the harder it is to sell it. Because again, what person in their crazy mind is going to buy an expired contract that's ending today? They're going to have to get rid of it. But yeah, of course, yeah, they're going to ride it out right now. Yeah, definitely going to ride it out right now. So yeah, just keep it on watch. That's why I was thinking, that's why I had to think about it too. I said their contracts don't end till market close. So yeah, they're going to try to ride it out as much as they can. So definitely once we start getting closer and closer to this 508 level, and we go back to 508, they're going to definitely try to be getting out of their contract. But I do see this H pattern setting up though. I do see an H pattern setting up for it to come back on down. But yeah, because they're gonna ride those contracts as much as they can again until the market closes. And like I said, just watch what's gonna happen, boss, from power hour into market close, because they're gonna be trying to jump out of those contracts. Because other than that, they're gonna be holding on to expired contracts that's worthless. Was there an average strike on those contracts? Let me go back. Max Payne. They were showing a Max Payne of 490. Well, we ain't nowhere near that. That's the only thing I seen. Yeah, we ain't nowhere near no 490. That ain't happening. Well, I mean, we somewhat close to it, but I don't think we ain't. I mean, we ain't gonna hit no 490. We ain't about to hit that. That ain't happening. But you see right here, we had what 859,000 in the money calls. Look where we at right now. Let me show you exactly. Let me show you the update where we at right now. Let me take a screenshot of it. Where is it at? Yeah, I mean them calls. We definitely lost out on calls. So watch. Let me go back to it. Where we at right now as far as calls? 98,000. We're at 98,000 right now. Watch. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you the now contract versus the old contract. So, see that? Boom, boom, boom. Come on. See here? Look. See, before then we had what 859,000 in the money calls starting off. Look where we at right now. 98,000. We have 4 million out of the money puts. And look where we at right now, 4.1 million. Oh no, they didn't moved it up for 514 Max Payne. 514 Max Payne now. They didn't moved it. Let's see. Yeah, 514. Is that what we did fall from 514, didn't we? Oh, yeah, 514. Okay, so that does make sense. Okay, so Max Payne 514. 514. We did hit that bad boy. Huh. So that's going to be very interesting. So 514. I That's why I want to keep it on watch as we get closer to that market close. On how many of those puts are still going to be holding as we get closer and closer to the power hour. They're going to still be trying to hold on to that contract. It's going to be very interesting to see once that starts to come down. Because I want to see exactly once we get closer and closer, that number will start to shorten. But definitely keep my eyes on that. What he said, Trey? What Trey said, boss? For anyone curious, I did invest $200,000 into SMCI with a strike price of $1,500 and got stopped. And I have it stopped at 499 here. I will win around 2.5 million. Oh, shout out to Taylor's, man. Good luck to you, boss. I hope you get it. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking the same thing. Cause what we at right now, SMCI anyway? What we at? Oh, we're coming back on down right now. See, I was aiming for 112, which is not bad. Cause if we get into lower areas, that's still good. Cause what we at on Nvidia? Nvidia's 900. Let me look at SMCI, cause I was thinking about doing the same thing too. Cause we're all pulling back, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to come down to these 1100 marks, see if this holds for a reversal back on up. Because I was definitely thinking about doing a swing as far as SMCI myself. And that's exactly what I wanted. And it's moving down to my areas that I got listed. From 511 back down to that old area, 510.80. What did he get in at? With the strike price of 1,500. What was his entry? I have a stop loss. I see 99. So if he had 999, so did he get in at 1,000? Wait, what was his entry though? Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was aiming. I was thinking about it going back up too. Cause I'm like, I still think that SMCI has some gas left in the tank for a movement back on up. I was thinking the same exact thing. Cause I wanted to go in for a call. Well, yeah, I was gonna go in for a call. Is he going in for a put? What is he going? No, he said 5. He said 1,500, so he's going in for a call. Yeah, see, I had up to 12.29, so I was trying to get in at lows for the run back up to 12. So he said 15 though. Oh, he way up here. God dang, I was aiming for like 12. Jesus. Yeah, I definitely want to see it come down, kind of start to curl. Like around this, at least this 1100 to this 1080 mark, right around where I got my trend line. Get in for a call for a move right back on up to that 512. That's definitely, yeah, I know. That's what I'm watching too, boss. I was just waiting on my setup to happen. That's why I haven't been watching it, because I'm waiting for it to get towards my levels that I want. So I've been sitting there waiting on that too, because I mean I wasn't catching those highs. Hell to the no. That's why I was waiting down here, like 1080. You know, to the old area where it got rejected at like a long time ago. Because y'all remember that was 1080 was that area that it fell at. If I go back, let me go back over. So if I go to, maybe I'm trying to go to my 4-hour chart. Maybe a 30-30 maybe. What was that 1080 at? That old 1080. Yeah, right here. See, you got that old 1080. Remember that was that first area when it went on that crazy run. And then we hit here 1080, it failed. Because you remember that was the move I was going to make $140,000. No, was it 140? 104,000. It was 140,000. I was supposed to make 140,000 on. But as you can see, we coming right back to that same area that I missed. But I could have went on a short, and it failed. Now we can use that same area for. I appreciate you, boy. Now we can come back.
King says, I think we will see 508.
That's what I think so too. But yeah, like I said, if I do get in on SMCI, I definitely want to use that area that I couldn't get in on the drop for actual bounce now. Because you can see right here, every time you hit around that area, you have a nice bounce. So I definitely want to wait till we get a little bit lower to that area where I can try to go specific run back on up. And it is falling. It's on. It might be setting up already. So I'm definitely gonna be looking into that. So. Because the only other area besides that 1080 that it can fall to is, I don't see nothing else other than around this $1,000 mark though. Yeah, right here, right at 1,000. So you got from here to here. Oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to get in at. So I got two different areas. I'm just trying to figure out which one is the best area because I know we're gonna get a bounce back on up. So I got 1080, but then I got one way down to the thousands, way down here. So that's a hell of a drop. I mean, it's a nice bounce back on up though. Don't get me wrong on that. Nice bounce. I'm trying to figure out how much lower can it go? Cause I want to catch the like something like this. When you catch these bottoms and you have a nice move back on up. So I wouldn't mind a drop where you can have a nice bounce back on up. Cause right now it looks like it's just still setting up for a drop to go further down the way it's looking. Look like it wants to go further. So between that 1050 to that $1,000 mark. Matter of fact, let me do this. Like I always do, let me set my alerts. Because this is going to either bounce off this trend line, right where it's at. Oh, can we go further? I'm going to set up one. I'm going to set one alert on this one. Because I definitely want to get in for a swing trade. Because I'm feeling the same way Taylor feeling. But I definitely want to go into a more safer area. Because like I said, I'm on the same page with him. I'm definitely on the same page with Tay. So I just wanted a lower area. Let me set my alert. Wait, was it that? Wait, did I set it for Ada? Wait, did I set that right? My alert? Oh, below. Okay, that is correct. All right. Next area. 1,000. So let me set my alert for this one. Okay. To 1,000. I knew you was gonna do that, Mort. I knew that was coming. I was just waiting on it. Alright, so I got both of my alerts set. Once you start to hit here, because I want to see how much lower can SMCI go before we have that nice move back on up. Because if I can catch SMCI, I'm with Taylor. I'm definitely with Taylor on that. So already it's gonna trigger off one of my alarms. Look like it's gonna soon hit that 1080 soon too. Look like that alarm will be going off very soon. Let me see. SPY, where we at? Alright, so SPY, we are back underneath. That's why I said look like that H what the hell? Oh, gotta change my whatchamacallit. What I was set on 1015? 1015. Yeah, 1015. We seen that H pattern. Yep, there we go. Yep, so H pattern is forming. So, yep, did call that out. So I did say if we do form the H, we can come back down to 508. Okay, so with that being said, all right, because you got stuck at 511. That's where that hump came in, where that R came in at 511. So if you got in around 511, I mean, good job to y'all for the move on down to 50, possibly 508. So it's gonna be like a slow mover back on down. And I mean, they're trying to get as close to that trend line as possible, right at around 508. So I still think we're gonna see 508.50 to 508. See, we didn't touch it last time. I think once we touch it, then on buy's gonna move in because it would make sense too. Because as we are getting closer and closer to this area, your time is going further and further out, which means those contracts are expiring on the puts. So that does make sense. So I can definitely see that. Have them push it all the way on down because by the time we do all of that, it's gonna be like 1 o'clock. Almost 2 o'clock. Wait, no, where we at? 1 o'clock here. 1:30. Yep, 1 o'clock here to 2. Because they're only going to have, 2 hours left of their contract expiring? So that means that once that contract expires, your calls, your bulls going to try to move back in. So, yeah, let them wash them on out because, again, they have to deal with time decay and an expiration date on their contracts. So I say let them get as close to 1 or 2 o'clock as possible because all they're going to have left is 2 hours to get rid of those contracts. So by doing that, once they get rid of those contracts, that should move those buys back in and for that pushback on up. So I'm definitely going to just keep that on watch to see what's going to happen around power hour to see it's exactly the ones that's holding those expired contracts. I definitely want to see what's going to happen on that note because you only going to go so low. Especially if that 510 keeps trying to hold. If that 510 keeps trying to hold and then they because See, look, this would be the smartest thing for buyers. If the, if I was on a contract or if I had that amount of money to control the market, the best thing to do, what I would do personally, is hold 510, hold those sellers out, hold them out as long as I can until it gets close to the expiration date. I'm talking about wear them out throughout time because they have to deal with the time decay, right? So if they can hold 510, I'm talking about the buyers. If the buyers can hold around 510, right, and to avoid the sellers or the puts to bring it down even further, they have to deal with time decay. They have to deal with losses because, again, their contracts expires today. So if they can hold them out around 510 until we get closer and closer towards power hour and market close, they're going to have to jump out of their contracts because time decay is kicking in. The buyers are not going to want to buy expired contracts. And in order for them not to get stuck with an expired contract, they're going to have to get rid of it. So that's what I'm saying. The smartest thing for them to do as far as buyers, bulls, hold 510, stall them out for as long as they possibly can until you get closer and closer and closer towards the market close because their contract is going to be voided. It's going to be done and dead. So if I was them, that'd be the smartest thing to do. Hold them like around these levels. Hold them around these levels. Stall them out. Stall those contracts out. Those put contracts, stall them out for as long as you can until we get close to market hour. The market close because they're going to have to get out of their contracts. They're going to be jumping ship soon because they don't want to hold an expired contract. So, it's almost that time, my team. I got 2 minutes till. Let's go ahead. I'm going to keep this on watch, team. But yeah, definitely just keep this on watch because right now, keep your eyes on that pivot point, 510 to 508. Just definitely watch those 2 points. And again, watch this area here where your buyers can definitely move back in because as we've seen time and time again on my chart, every time we hit that around that trend line, buyers move in. So, and we go back on my chart before we go into the headquarters, before we go back out. Let's go back real quick before I roll out. So as you can see, every time we hit that trend line, we always have a nice move back on up right here. See that? Every time we hit that green line, boom, back on up. Hit that green line, boom, back on up. Green line, back on up. And where we at right now? Close to that trend line. So if the buyers can stall out those put contracts that are expiring today, stall them out between the 508 to the 510, therefore, they have to jump out of their contracts. Therefore, buyers move back in, creating buying pressure to push back, hold above 510, and start to go back this way. So that'll be the smartest thing to do. So yeah, dump them all off, have buyers move in, sit in these key areas, stall out those contracts, once they expire, then here come your buyers moving back on in to start pushing it back on up. Because we just seen this time and time and time again. We have seen it over and over and over. So right now, just setting itself up for the next opportunity because, again, next week we have the FOMC meeting that's coming out. That'll be on the 20th. So definitely keep. Matter of fact, let's what else is coming out around that area? Let's take a look before I head out to team. Let's take a look. Anything else we're gonna have around the FOMC meeting next week? We had 16, right? 18. So yeah, 18th Monday we have the Home Builders Index. I don't see anything major other than the FOMC meeting. Wednesday. Then after that, nothing scheduled Friday. We're gonna have the initial jobless claims, Philadelphia Fed manufacturing survey, PMI data, existing home sales. So we're gonna have majority of little building permits here and there Monday and Tuesday, but the main focus is gonna be Wednesday, Thursday. So we have Wednesday, Thursday. So that's gonna be our main focus point. So I'm just keeping on watch. Like I said, just watching this key level. Remember, y'all, 510. Keep your eyes peeled on 510. 510 is gonna be your focus point for today. I'm telling you, 510 because you can either pivot down to 508, then back up to 510, or you can hold 510 back on up to 512, and then rotate back to 510. But your main focus pivot point for today is 510, guys. 510. All right, with that being said, let's head on to the headquarters and do what we do best. Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's go. We back in the place to be. We back. But nah, man, shout out to everybody, man, for joining me, man. I definitely had a great time with you guys. I will be back Monday. You know how we do. 9:15 Eastern, 8:15 Central. Let me give a shout out to my squad. Let me give a shout out to my YouTube squad. Soccer King, I see you. G Money, ASD, shout out to you, boss. Norm, shout out to you because I know y'all had to bounce over to YouTube. Shout out to y'all. Sheps, shout out to you, boss. J24, shout out to you. Maggie, shout out to you. I think that's it. That was on my side. I already gave a shout out to Gang Dan. That's my road dog there. All right, let me go ahead.
V says, enjoy your weekend.
Trey Life, shout out to you too, boss. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to my Tradecaster family. Who do I have in the building? Shout out to Deckmore, to the leader, to the Kane, to the one who got it all started. Shout out to you, boss. Marty, you already know my right-hand man. And I always shout out to you. Gert, shout out to you. Taylor Trade. Who else? Alex Vaughn. Who else we got in the building? Doom. Trend Detector, shout out to you, boss. Who else we got in the building? Scrooge, shout out to you. AR Trades. Thunder. Make sure I don't miss nobody. Charting Queen, always an honor. First lady of the trades, Team Trades legacy. AK-47. Who else am I? Let me see. Well, I think I went too far out. Wait. I think I just jumped up to the 13th. Trying to get these dates. Make sure I'm on the 15th. Make sure I ain't go too far out. God, dog. I think I went too far out. Hold up. Go back. Trying to make sure I got all the names because I don't want to miss nobody before I head out. Oh, here we go. 15. All right, cool. Marty already called you. Coldplay, shout out to you, boss. Here we go. Now I'm back on top. Jerhoff, shout out
Maggie
to you.
Ross
Jenna,
says,
shout out to you.
have a great weekend.
Maggie, shout out to you, Queen. You have a blessed weekend as well.
Soccer King says, me.
Yep. Shout out to you, Soccer King. Always a blessing, always an honor to have y'all team. I think I didn't shout out everybody already. I think that's all that came through. Shout out to everybody. I think that is it. Yeah, I think that's it. So, with that being said, team, y'all have a blessed weekend, man. I will be gearing myself back up for Monday and waiting, anticipating for Wednesday for the FOMC meeting. Again, that will be Wednesday, March 30th. Mark it down on your calendar, 2 o'clock. You know how this goes. And after that, 2:30, Uncle JP will be, I'ma say, purple tie. I think he's going to be popping in with a purple tie. That's just me. I think so. But nah, man, y'all have a blessed week, man. And again, if y'all enjoy my my content, the live stream, and if you're getting a lot of educational again contents from it, that's helping you out as far as in your trading, definitely do your boy a favor. Hit that follow/subscribe button. Please do me a favor. Hit the like, comment, share, do everything you can to help your boy get out there, man, so I can try to help everybody around me because I want to see everybody make it for 2024 and beyond. So I will be, again, tonight I will be working on my first video lesson. So if you are part of the YouTube membership or if you're part of the Patreon membership, guys, I will be putting out the video lessons where we'll be breaking down talks about the chart breakdowns, the rotation, so they can help you out for the next setups that's coming. Y'all haven't joined, do feel free. If y'all do want to donate, let me go ahead. If y'all ever want to donate, let me go ahead and put the link out before I even leave. Let me put the link out. Where is it at? It's in my Patreon, right? Try to send it out real quick as I can before I roll out. So if y'all ever want to make a donation that goes towards the Trades Foundation, it's up to y'all. I'm not twisting nobody on. Do feel free. That's your, All right, let me put it out. So if you ever want to participate, so do feel free to do that. Let me put it out in my okay, let me shout it out to YouTube as well. All right, boom.
J-Trix TV
I know he's gonna do that.
Join the Trix Foundation.
I knew they was gonna do that.
Via StreamElements/TVS.
God dog it.
Link. Cash App.
I knew that was coming. I was like, crap. Put everything back up. Oh, here we go. All right, cool. So I can take that off. All right, cool. Now I'm about to be heading out. Well, team, y'all already know what I'm about to say before I head out of here, man. Again, thank y'all for joining me, and shout out to y'all who did make a trade. Shout out to the ones who didn't make a trade, who sat on their hands, being patient, waiting for the next opportunities. Again, you already know what I'm about to say before I roll out. Maximize your reward, minimize your risk, put grateful over greed, and you will succeed every single time. Till then, guys, I hope everyone has a blessed and happy weekend, and I will see you guys Monday morning. You already know what we do. Stay getting paid. Let's get it, team.
Marty's Elizniak
Peace.
says, drop some likes, gals and guys.